A Western Division rivalry takes center stage as the Cotuit Kettleers come into town to take on the Bourne Braves under the lights of Dorn Park on a beautiful Wednesday night. Alongside Cam Manna, I'm Matt Scalzo. We thank you for joining us here on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network. Cam, we're going to take a trip back to White House Field last night in Harwich. Bourne got the 7-5 victory, and we saw them come from behind late in the game, something we haven't seen lately from this Bourne team.
And a big confidence boost for them in that 7-5 win. Because we talked about it pregame of yesterday. In the last 6 games going into that one, Bourne 31-6. That was the outscoring differential in their wins. The losses was 6-25. So Bourne had to show that they can come back in games and not just have it be a blowout win. So that was big against Harwich. Newt Contratis getting it going for him. He'll play first base tonight. We'll get into that. And Josh Grauer, his only hit of the night, but it was the biggest one to propel Bourne to that victory. So they came from behind. They pitched well late. McShane showed up big out of the bullpen, and it was a much-needed victory for the Bravos.
JKG coming up clutch, like Cam said, with his double in the 8th inning, brought in a pair of runs. He later came to score to make it a 2-run cushion. We're now going to focus on tonight, which is the 5th meeting between these two teams. Cotuit's taken both at Dorn Park, and Bourne's taken both at Lowell Park. And those 4 games, well, they're very different when you look at what the games have been like here at Dorn and what they were like at Lowell.
Polar opposites. The 2 games here at Dorn, Bourne scored no runs. At Lowell Park, they scored 27 runs combined in those 2 games. It was close losses here where the Bourne offense was not together, and it was blowout losses at Lowell Park. I was talking to the Cotuit broadcasters before the game. We're hoping for maybe a little bit of a mixture here tonight because it's just been, one-way blowout, one-way close game, and the Bourne offense not being there. So we'll see if anything changes here tonight or it's just another pitcher's duel from Dorn Park.
This is the first time since June 20th that Cotuit has rolled into Dorn Park. We're all set to get going here from Dorn Park, but for now we'll send it to Before the Bravos with Mojo Hill and Ali Navarrete.
Number 3, Brock Wills.
Welcome on in to another edition of Before the Bravos. I'm Ali Navarrete alongside Mojo Hill. And Mojo, for the first time in well over a month, honestly, the Kettleers are here at Dorn Park to take on the Braves, and kind of an interesting series history that we've had with the Kets so far.
Yeah, it's kind of a statistical anomaly because we played 2 games here against Cotuit, got shut out both times, but 2 games on the road against Cotuit, the Braves put up double digits both times. So something's got to give eventually. Obviously, the shutouts were kind of a while ago with a different roster, so things have changed a lot. But yeah, I think they're definitely due to break out with some runs here at Dorn Park against Cotuit this time.
Yeah, and we'll see Henry Weicker starting for the first time in also over a month, I believe. The last time we saw him start was at Chatham in early June, a 10-1 victory for the Braves, one of their first dominant wins of the season. Obviously, they've done that against Cotuit the last 2 times out, and so expecting Weicker to have a better performance than he did at Falmouth. That was a tough game for everyone, position players and pitchers. I think Bourne just wants to forget about that one and have a fresh start. He'll definitely be looking for that today.
Yeah, I think he's due to improve. I think he's been throwing a little better than maybe that line indicated in that last rough relief outing. But yeah, I think he's pretty well rested after missing some time to figure out where he was going to school. Now that he's back, I think he's primed to pitch well.
Yeah, Weicker headed to Coastal Carolina, joining the Coastal crew here at Bourne. Derek Bender and Caden Bodine. And speaking of Derek Bender, got injured in Game 1 of that doubleheader with Wareham on Monday. Did not play yesterday. He won't be in the lineup again today. But Braves able to get a really good come-from-behind, gritty win against Harwich last night without their best hitter.
Yeah, and it's good to at least see Bender back here today. We weren't sure if he was going to get that checked out or what. I talked to him briefly. He said the hamstring is just a little sore, but not too bad. He's still walking around out there, looks pretty agile, and he's still written on the lineup card as a reserve. So I think we'll see him back in the lineup pretty soon. And yeah, it's another kind of new look lineup without him right in the middle of the order there.
Yeah, speaking of new looks, we're seeing some changes defensively for the Braves. We'll see new Contrades at first base and then Cam Foster at third, which is obviously normal for him, but a movement for Contrades. We haven't seen anyone at first base this season in a while besides Michelle and Bender.
Yeah, I guess with Bender out, and Michelle is really your only classic first baseman. It makes sense to try someone else out there, especially when Foster's playing third and Contrades is a little blocked that way. And Contrades, his bat has really been getting going, so you want to get his bat in the lineup, find another defensive position for him. I think first base is a pretty natural fit.
Yeah. Speaking of hitting, let's talk about Bryce Evelyn batting cleanup for the second night in a row. I really liked how that worked out for Bryce yesterday.
Yeah, it's definitely unconventional, but Landers told me kind of his reasoning behind it. There aren't a lot of home runs here in general, just in the Cape League. It's tougher with the wood bats. And so Landers figures, hey, this guy's hot right now. Why not put him in the cleanup spot? There aren't a lot of home runs in this league anyway. And even though Evelyn's not a home run hitter, it doesn't matter as much when you look at it that way. And he did finally have his first extra base hit, but he just keeps lining singles. And he's hitting the ball pretty hard, too. They aren't all just cheap shots. He's seeing the ball really well right now.
Totally. I mean, he's brought his batting average above 300. He's at 322 right now. He'll bat behind Caden Bodine in the DH slot tonight, and then Hugh Pinckney catching. And, yeah, I mean, I think this is, you're testing some things out as always. Coach Landers is throwing things around. But one thing that stays pretty solid is Jonathan Vastine in that leadoff spot, which I think he's the go-to leadoff guy from now on.
Yeah, definitely. He's built to be a leadoff guy with his speed and on-base ability. I think Peterson in the two-hole, that's another new one, pretty interesting. I like it. He's another good on-base guy, and Landers definitely likes having those catalysts in the top two spots. He often puts Evelyn up there sometimes. And then it's interesting with Peterson playing left field today and Pete Chifreda in center. Pete does not have a ton of experience, at least in games in center, but Salty was saying that he wants to be a center fielder at school, and he also feels like Chifreda is maybe the more vocal between him and Peterson, which helps just for communication reasons in center field. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how well Chifreda adapts to that position, because I haven't really seen. I just don't know how much range he has out there if he can sprint and cover all that ground, but we'll see.
Yeah, the outfield for Bourne definitely typically pretty fast and athletic, especially when you throw Gage Harrelson in center. But we were talking to Peterson before the game. He plays left field at school. Kendall's been in that right field spot pretty much all season long, so that's pretty typical. We'll put Pete in the center, see how it goes, and I think Chifreda is definitely due for a better day at the plate.
Yeah, and the OBP is still pretty good. I think the main thing I want to see is power.
Yeah.
If you can get away with a low batting average, if you're drawing the walks and hitting for power, and he's doing one of those two things right now. So if he can start to tap into some more power, I think he could be really valuable.
Totally. Meanwhile, in terms of big picture, Bourne looking to take the advantage in the series. Right now it's even at 2 apiece, as we said. 2 shutouts here at Dorn Park in favor of the Kettleers and 2 dominant blowout wins at Lowell Park in favor of the Bravos. So definitely a lot on the line for both of these teams today. We talk about it every single night. The West is kind of up for grabs in terms of the 3-4 and the 1-2. Cotuit obviously in that battle for 1-2 with Hyannis, who had a huge dominant win over the best in the East this morning in Connecticut, an 8-0 victory over YD. And then Falmouth and Bourne battling for that 3-4 spot. And Bourne has to take on Falmouth one more time this season. I think a win over Cotuit here today could be huge. They'll have the opportunity to go back to Lowell Park again once more this season, but a win at home, haven't done that yet.
Yeah, and I think the momentum is just in the right place after last night. I think, honestly, last night was one of the biggest wins of the summer. It was a back-and-forth game that they were trailing for a bunch of, and they got that big hit when they needed it, especially from a guy who had been struggling in JKG. Moved up to the leadoff spot, and both him and Landers were talking about just how huge that was, because they hadn't had a lot of comeback wins this year. When they have one, it's usually been they get out to an early lead and then they hold on to win it. So to have a gritty comeback win like that was just huge.
Yeah, JKG said it best. He said for the rest of the season, the lights are on, so we'll see if the Bravos can thrive in that situation again tonight. We'll take a step aside for the national anthem, Cam and Matt, when we come back.
Catcher from Rutgers University, number 6, Hugh. This is Scott Landers, along with coaches Kevin Curtin, John Topoleski, Lucas Olson, and Jared Saltalamacchio. Tonight's bat kids are Ethan Tonello and Thomas Jones. And tonight's umpires are James Fonseca, Marvick Gomez, and Joe Gravino. And at this time, we ask you please rise for our national anthem. The Braves would like to welcome Lisa Simmons to Dorn Park to perform tonight's anthem. Lisa is a mortgage broker who has lived in Wareham for the past 23 years. She has sung with the Jimmy Fun Chorus at multiple Red Sox games and fundraisers. Joining the players on the field tonight are this week's clinic participants.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back 2022 Cape League champion Ryan Enos. Ryan played a pivotal role in the Braves' playoff push, highlighted by his home run in Game 2 against the Whitecaps at Brewster. Welcome back, Ryan.
First pitch is done, and we're about set to get underway here from Dorn Park between Bourne and Cotuit. Cam, looking at these Western Division standings, another team has clinched with Cotuit. It's the Hyannis Harborhawks in second after their 8-0 victory at Dunkin' Donuts Park this morning.
Yeah, they were dominant in that one over YD, and now just sitting a game and a half back against Cotuit. But Cotuit, right now, they're 36th game, so they still have a few more makeups to play for them. But Hyannis is playing great baseball right now, and they're showing how hot they've been in their last 10. Cotuit 5-4-1 in their last 10 games, so Hyannis creeping up, and Bourne and Falmouth that half-game difference right now. So it seems like we kind of know who's going to be the 1 and 2. Is it Hyannis? Is it Cotuit? And the 3-4, Falmouth or Bourne.
Really tight division standings at the top and in the middle of the pack. We'll take a look now at who's on the mound here for Bourne, and it's Henry Weicker, who was at Virginia Tech. Now he's taking his talents down south to Coastal Carolina, joining the talent of Ken Bodine and Derek Bender. For Weicker, this will be his second start on the mound after his last start at Chatham. And Cam, since coming back, he's been a little up and down, but overall, Weicker, a strong piece out of the Bourne bullpen and out of the starting rotation, comes in with a 3.63 ERA and a 1-0 record. This is the lineup for Cotuit that he will be taking on. Grant Norris leads off playing at second. Cole Mathis is the DH batting second. Trevor Haskins is the shortstop batting third. James McCoy is in right batting cleanup. Carter Matheson, the All-Stars, out in center batting fifth. Dylan Johnson's the catcher batting sixth. Sean Keys bats seventh. Jacob Tobias bats eighth. And Brock Wills rounds things out. Weiker's on the mound. The lefty versus the righty in Norris. First pitch outside for ball one, coming at 6:01 p.m., 81 degrees and sunny here at Dorn Park. Born in the alternate blue tops, here's the 1-0. High and outside to Norris, 2-0. Meanwhile, for the Kettleers, they're in their road maroons with the white pinstripe pants. Norris comes in with a .288 average so far this season. 2-0. Fastball outside once again from Weiker, and it's 3-0. To the second baseman out of Penn State. 4 home runs, 14 RBIs. The 3-0. Fastball right down the chute for strike one. That didn't leave the shoulder of Norris, and it's 3-1. Weiker working quickly, the 3-1. Dips downstairs, and it's a 5-pitch leadoff walk to Grant Norris here on the top of the first. And now we'll take a look at the Bourne defensive alignment. Out in center field is Pete Chufreda. He's flanked in right by Kendall Diggs and in left by Sam Peterson. From first to third around the infield, it's Nuke Contrades making his first start at first. Bryce Eblin's at second. Jonathan Vastein's the shortstop. Cam Foster's at third. And Hugh Pinckney is the battery mate for Henry Weiker as Grant Norris takes his lead over at first. First pitch popped up straight back behind home plate from Cole Mathis. The all-star DH comes in batting .323, has 9 home runs and 31 RBIs. There is the Bourne defense, the top defense in the Cape League this season. The 0-1. Chopper third base side. It rolls foul, and it's 0-2 to Mathis.
And right now for Mathis, he's kind of been in the running, him and Bender, of who's going to be that Cape League MVP. But Mathis has that home run total and RBI total at the moment that's skying over Bender. And he's had just a phenomenal summer here with the Kettleers.
The 0-2. Mathis another ground ball, and it's foul down the third base side. Cam talked about Derek Bender. He's not in the lineup for the second straight night. They're saying a hamstring injury he sustained in game one of the doubleheader against Wareham. And that's why Nuke Contrades is over at first, making his first start. There's Mathis' stats entering today. He's been one of the top guys in the Cape League. The 0-1. Breaking ball dips low, gets past Pinckney. Norris will advance another 90 feet up to second base. And on a 1-2 count, runner in scoring position for Cole Mathis. Weiker from the stretch. Another righty in this Cotuit order. The 1-2. Outside, off the glove of Pinckney. Doesn't get too far by him. Norris takes a couple steps and then retreats back to second base as the count moves to 2-2.
And a big spot early here for Weiker, and just himself looking to bear down as to get through Mathis. Just really looking to put this top dog down in the Kettleers lineup.
Weiker looks over at Norris at second, back home, the 2-2. Ground ball, it's foul once again down the third base side from Cole Mathis, and the count stays where it is. Ball is loose out in left field. Jonathan Vastine runs over and flips it to Adonis Guzman, who gets out of the Bourne dugout. Weiker comes set once again. Looking over at Mathis in the 2-2 count. Norris with a two-step lead over at second. Eblin pinches in, now shades back. The 2-2 liner, it's foul once again. Just inches from the left field line for Mathis.
And a great battle here for Mathis, and he's been seeing a lot of off-speed pitches for Weiker. and has fouled a few off in the inner half. That one he was out in front and just spoiling it. Hard hit ball down the line.
A long at-bat between Weicker and Mathis. North still leads off second. Began the game with a 5-pitch walk. Here's another 2-2. Foul tip. And fighting it off is Mathis. No shift on for the Bourne defenses. Norris takes his lead at second. Wind blowing out towards left center field. The 2-2. Ground ball left side. Straight at Vastine at short. He flips to third as Norris tries to stretch his lead, and he's caught out. Quick thinking from Jonathan Vastine. Flips it to Foster, who takes a tumble as Norris slid in. But Bourne gets the lead runner out for the first out here in the top of the first.
Tough base running there from Norris. You know, you wonder why he was just straight going, and did have a good lead, as Matt mentioned, and not the best jump in the world, but Vastine, a great read right there. His body was going towards third base, set his feet quickly, a little bit of a snap throw to Foster. That's a big way to change the complexion of this inning.
Brings up Trevor Haskins out of Stanford. Another righty for Cotuit. First pitch. Fastball high and outside, 1-0. Haskins has played in 5 games so far, this being his 6th. Comes in with a .450 average so far this season. Mathis takes his lead over at first. It's just a small step from Contrades. The 1-0. Fastball called strike on the outside corner, 1-1. 2 home runs, 5 RBIs for Haskins so far. In his last 4 games, with a .471 average, both of his home runs coming in that stretch. The 1-1 cuts and misses on the fastball from Weicker. It's 1-2.
And we know Cotuit, too, even with 2 strikes here, they're a team that loves to go small ball and steal as well, similar to the Braves.
1-2. Slow roller. It's foul. Towards the Bourne dugout. One of the bat boys goes out to grab it. Thomas Jones and Ethan Tonello, the bat boys for Bourne tonight. Long look in here from Weicker, and he's got his sign from Pinckney. Working from the stretch, looking directly at Mathis at first. The 1-2, this one's driven out towards right center field, tailing towards the gap, and it'll drop in. Rolls all the way to the wall. Mathis turning around third on his way home. And it's an RBI double for Trevor Haskins. Cotuit strikes first on Haskins' 6th RBI of the season, and Mathis goes first to home.
Now batting, the right fielder from the University.
That's a great piece of hitting there from Haskins. A low and inside pitch. Goes in and out, but not in and out, just a single kind of swing. That ball going all the way to the gap in the wall. Some wind here tonight at Dorn Park, helping that ball trickle towards the fence. But nice start here for Cotuit. They wanted to have 2, but they get that first one.
Now James McCoy comes up to bat. Another righty here for the Kets. First pitch outside, 1-0. And we've seen it with Cotuit this season. They're a very situational baseball team. You see a lefty on the mound, you're going to expect a heavy dose of righties in that Cotuit order. There's McCoy, a .246 average, 12 RBIs, and a home run for him this season out of Kentucky. 1-0, he slices it the other way foul, and it's 1-1.
And another guy in this order, too, that drives runners well into scoring position. And those RBI numbers well into the double digits.
.410 on base percentage for McCoy this season. The 1-1 checks his swing on the high fastball and holds back as the count moves to 2-1. Excuse me. There's the appeal down to Marvick Gomez over at second. He said McCoy did not go around. Weicker working from the stretch, looks over at Haskins, the 2-1. Fastball hangs upstairs, and it's 3-1. Weicker struggling with his fastball to find the zone early on. The 3-1. Fastball right at the letters for a called strike 2. Big count here to McCoy. Full count, 1 away. Cotuit's already struck first with Haskins' RBI double. Payoff pitch. Fastball, touch outside. McCoy works the 1-out walk.
A long start so far here for Weicker and trying to just find that command on his fastball. He's used a lot of breaking ball work so far, looking to get that heater back in the zone and help his confidence out on the bump. But first 4 batters for Cotuit here get on early, and that will bring Landers out to the bump as well.
As Cam said, Scott Landers coming out. Has not been what he expected from Weicker in his first start since coming back. Has made a couple appearances out of the bullpen against Hyannis and Falmouth. Has not been his best stuff like we saw before he left to go look at schools. Eventually settling on Coastal Carolina as his next stop in his career. And here finding those same struggles once again. The walk to Norris. Mathis reached on a fielder's choice. He eventually came in to score, a batter later on the RBI double from Trevor Haskins, who's still over at second, and now James McCoy's aboard with the second walk dished out from Weicker. Now he faces his first lefty. It's Carter Matheson, the all-star center fielder out of Indiana. 295 average for him so far this season. First pitch, breaking ball, popped up. Shallow left field. Foster moving back from third, now moving into foul ground, and he's able to squeeze it for the second out.
Tough play there for Foster, just backpedaling and twisting and turning his hips into foul territory on the third base side.
Now batting, the catcher from the college.
Nice athleticism from Foster. Took some ground balls during BP at first base as well, where Contreras is playing. Nice to see that his ability to play at both corners.
Foster, a tall player, 6'4" out of Liberty. Has great athleticism, as does Contreras. First pitch to Dylan Johnson. Fastball high and away. 1-0. Johnson, he's making his 6th appearance of the summer out of the College of Charleston. Teammates with Cole Mathis. Through 5 games this season, a .333 average. Another righty here for Cotuit, the 1-0. Breaking ball loops back into the heart of the zone, and it's 1-1. Wind blowing around here as the 1-1 comes in. It's low to Johnson, 2-1. McCoy leads over at first, and there is Trevor Haskins at second. The 2-1, jammed inside, fly ball to straightaway center field. Chufreda in the perfect spot. It's a can of corn for him, and he makes the catch for the third out. Cotuit strikes first on the RBI double from Trevor Haskins. But Weicker bears down. Nothing else comes across the score. As we head to the bottom of the first, we'll get our first looks at the Bourne Bats here on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
Jonathan Bastine.
Back at Dorn Park, and our first look at the Bourne Bats, Jonathan Vastine, the leadoff hitter out of Vanderbilt. Playing at shortstop tonight, facing Jacob Schaefer, the right-hander on the mound, and he deals a first pitch strike fastball on the outside corner. First start for Schaefer this season. The 0-1. Vastine line drive, left center field. That'll split the gap and roll all the way up towards the warning track. Vastine around first on his way to second. The ball is spiked out in left center field. Vastine digging for third. Here's the throw. It's not in time. Jonathan Vastine getting the Bourne Bats off to a hot start. The tying run 90 feet away here in the bottom of the first.
That ball from Vastine lasered off the bat and was rolling in left center field, and that's what Jonathan Vastine does. His ability on the base paths to read a bad throw and go that extra bag. He read that just a little bit of a miscue from Willis and the shortstop and Haskins on that relay throw, and Vastine got to third. What a job.
Sam Peterson now comes up to bat, and he takes the first pitch low and outside for ball one. Currently marked as a hit for Vastine, at least a double. We'll wait to see if an error is awarded at all. 1-0, low and away, 2-0. There's a look at Schaefer's stats. 4 appearances, all have come out of the bullpen. He's gone 9 innings. Has just allowed 5 hits, no runs allowed either. Opponent's batting 167 against the tall righty. Chopper back up the middle from Peterson on the 2-0. 2-0, fielded, fired across the dime. It's in time to get Peterson. The throw from Haskins. But coming in to score is Jonathan Vastine, and Peterson picks up his 8th RBI of the season. We're tied at 1 here at the bottom of the first.
And coming into this start for Schaefer, too, he put his last 9 batters down coming out of the bullpen. 9 consecutive outs for him, and Vastine starting off early, and that's what you want to do if you're Peterson right there. Don't got to do too much. Put a ball in play, tie up this game early, and get to Schaefer.
First pitch to Caden Bodine. This is inside, and it's 1-0. That's the first run for Bourne scored against the Kettleers here at Dorn Park. Lost 1-0 and 3-0 in both the meetings here at Dorn Park so far this season. The 1-0 outside 2-0. Well, now take a look at the Cotuit, or rather the rest of the Bourne order. Bryce Eblin to follow, then Kendall Diggs, New Contrades, Cam Foster, Hugh Pinckney, and Pete Ciuffretto rounds things out. 2-0, cut on and missed from Bodine, and it's 2-1. We'll look at the Cotuit defensive alignment as Carter Matheson's camped out in straightaway center. James McCoy's in right, and Brock Wills is in left. 2-1 to Bodine. Change up inside, 3-1. On the corners has Jacob Tobias at first, Sean Keys at third. Infield up the middle, Grant Norris at second, Trevor Haskins the shortstop, and Dylan Johnson's the catcher. 3-1. Off speed catches the outside corner to Bodine. The count runs full with 1 gone in the bottom of the first. The 3-2. Bodine chops it foul. And the count stays where it is to the switch hitting DH. 370 average for Bodine, a home run and 18 RBIs. Was the all-star catcher for the West Division on Saturday at Harwich. Here's another 3-2. And Bodine once again spoils with a chopper off of home plate.
And he's been so good for the Braves and helped them out in their first run last night, striking in that first inning. He had the single and got the second scored on the RBI from Eblin.
Another 3-2. This is low, and Bodine works a 1-out walk. So patient at the dish. Last 6 games for Bodine, his on-base percentage has been right around .430. Once again, he finds himself on base as the hot-hitting Bryce Eblin comes up to bat.
Great job for Bodine there, and even with Peterson's kind of a new inning now, even with 1 out, you get Bodine on, and this is what Bodine and Eblin did yesterday with 2 outs.
First pitch to Bryce Eblin, fouled straight back, and it's 0-1. A .322 average for Eblin, 17 RBIs. And that average has been skyrocketing as of late through the last 5 games. Eblin's batting an even 500, 11 for 22. He's got 5 ribbies as well. An on-base percentage of above 400 this season. Throw over to first. Bodine's back safely. Eblin currently riding an 8-game hitting streak for the Braves this season. Someone that turned it on late last summer. Doing the same once again, 0-1. Catches a piece as it rolls to the backstop, foul on the changeup, and it's 0-2.
And to have him get going in this Bourne lineup is just so crucial for them, showing now that he can hit in a 4 spot. We've seen Eblin in that 2-hole a ton, but for him to get going, big captain on this team, strong leader, and now that talent with the bat is there.
The 0-2. Eblin turns and grounds it foul, first base side. Out in front of another off speed from Schaefer. Just the first run given up by the pitcher out of UNC Wilmington. The 0-2. Eblin, line drive. This finds a gap out in right field. Bodine advances over to second and make that 9 games in a row where Bryce Eblin has picked up a base hit.
Now batting, the right fielder from
And the vibes were different today during batting practice. There was a different sense of urgency for the Braves, talking to some of the players and understanding how much bigger these games have gotten. And a big one here today at home. You're playing against Cotuit. Stakes that much higher for the Braves, and a lot of guys stepping up here early. And a nice job by Eblin, continuing to see the baseball like it's a beach ball right now.
A big spot here for Kendall Diggs, another lefty in the Bourne order. Just like Eblin, Diggs has started to find his groove lately. First pitch fastball outside to the right fielder out of Arkansas. His average just at 228 and 6 RBIs after a super strong spring with Arkansas, but lately in the last 5 games, Diggs 286, 5 RBIs for him. 1-0. Checks his swing. Ball gets away from Johnson. Both runners will advance another 90 feet and move into scoring position here for Bourne. Diggs held off on the swing, and the count moves to 2-0.
And Bourne continuing to be able to strike early against the Kettleers. And Cotuit's shown in a few of their meetings, especially in that last one, they got 1 run in early on, but Bourne has found their number and showing it here early at Dorn Park, where, if you can believe it, in this inning, first time that Bourne has scored here against Cotuit.
Big spot looking to break this one open as Cotuit also understanding that they'll bring the entire infield in. The toes just a couple inches off the infield grass from first to third. The 2-0 to Diggs. Change up inside, 3-0. He's got Eblin at second, Bodine at third. On a 3-0 count. 1 away. No shift on in the outfield. Here's the pitch. Off speed, right at the knees, called strike 1. Bat didn't leave the shoulder of Diggs. 3-1. Here's the 3-1 from Schaefer. Diggs turns, and it's a ground ball. Straight into the Cotuit dugout on the first base side. Count runs full at 3-2. And that bat broke for Kendall Diggs right on the hands.
And a completely new piece of lumber, a completely different kind of bat as well for Diggs. More of a red barrel now.
And now he's getting all the pine tar he needs to get this bat up to his liking. As Cam said, he's got that new look. Had a bit more of a lighter wood at the top, and now it's that Arkansas red. up at the barrel. Here's the payoff pitch. Ground ball back up the middle, and that will roll into center field. Bodine will score. Turning around third, digging for home. Here comes Eblin. The throw is off target. Diggs advances over to second. He puts Bourne on top with a 2-run single, and it's 3-1 Bourne here in the bottom of the first.
What a great job from the Bravos early. Great pieces of hitting. Keeping the ball on the ground, hitting things hard. Vastine started it early, and Diggs just a nice job there. Knowing the infield's in, just got to put one and sneak it through. And a nice job. Bourne advancing as well to bring those 2 runs in. They strike first early and often against the Kettleers.
And out comes up new Contrades. First pitch swing for him, and it flies foul down the first base side, 0-1. Contrades, he's really starting to find his groove here in this Bourne order. Well, 4 of his RBIs come in the last 4 games. Really in the last 2, a pair of RBIs for him in his last 2 starts. The 0-1, fastball outside, and it's 1-1. Just coming off his freshman season out of Arizona State, holds a .259 average. But he's batting .455 in the last 4 games, has an on-base percentage of .382, just below .400. Making his first start at first base. 1-1 popped up out of play down the right field line, and it's 1-2. Norris pinching in over at second base as Diggs holds a 2-step lead. The 1-2 from Schaefer. Contrades fights it off as it goes to the backstop. Count stays where it is. A shift on to the left side of the infield as Trevor Haskins is in the 5-6 hole. And Sean Keys is 2 steps off the left field line at third. Grant Norris shading towards second base, leaving the first baseman and Jacob Tobias as the lone man on the right side. The 1-2, Contrades ground ball that finds its way back up the middle into center field. Motoring around third, here comes Diggs. The throw won't be in time. New Contrades stays hot, as do the Bourne bats. It's 4-1 Braves in the bottom of the first.
Simple hitting for the Bravos. Contrades does what Diggs just did. Ground ball right back up the middle. And Bourne just finding their way once again early against Cotuit. All starts with that first runner on, and the Braves just keeping that train rolling. We talked about Bourne during these last 10 games, putting up those crooked numbers, having that consistent hitting, and showing it right here.
Initially, it was Dylan Johnson that went out to the mound along with Trevor Haskins to talk with Schaefer, and now here comes Mike Roberts and the entire Cotuit infield. As there's a couple of pitchers getting loose down in the Cotuit bullpen over the right field fence. And there's one pitcher who's really trying to get hot real quick.
And we talked about Schaefer coming into this game. He's been that guy for Cotuit. He left the Kettleers to go for the draft, was not drafted, so came back. And in his appearances so far, all out of the bullpen, but he's been the guy in the Cape that has been very stellar so far. First 4 runs that he's allowed on his stint with Cotuit all coming in this game.
Bourne's looking to get more out of Schaefer here as Contrades takes his lead off first. How about the emergence of new Contrades here in this Bourne order? A snap throw over, and Contrades with a head-first dive back safely. No tag from Tobias at first. 5 RBIs now on the season, all coming in the last 3 games for the first baseman out of Arizona State. Another throw over. Tobias doesn't even bother with the tag. Schaefer understanding Contrades. He's also got some speed on him as well. 4 for 4 with stolen bases, and Cam and I both know Bourne loves to get runners moving. Fake steal from Contrades. And the first pitch to Foster is fouled off a pole behind home plate. Foster comes in with a 271 average, 10 RBIs for him this season. The 0-1. Changeup catches the outside corner, and it's 0-2. Still just one out. That came on the RBI groundout from Sam Peterson, the second batter of the game. The 0-2. Changeup, and Foster is rung up. Frozen on 3 pitches for the second out and first strikeout for Schaefer here.
Nice pitch there from Schaefer to bounce back against Foster and finally getting ahead in that bat. Big second out, looking to just stop it right here, keep it at a 3-run deficit, and get through Pinckney.
Hugh Pinckney's been a tough out here as of late. Hits in 6 of his last 7 games. First pitch swing, ground ball to left side, backhanded by Haskins. He'll flip to Norris to get Contrades out at second. That'll do it for the bottom of the first. But Bourne, their bats have come alive once again against the Kettleers. 4 runs, they take a 4-1 lead into the second inning here on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
Now batting, the third baseman from Bucknell University, number 17.
Back at Dorn
Sean
Park, tonight's
Hughes.
broadcast brought to you by Marty Chevrolet, your dealer for the people, proudly supports the Bourne Braves baseball team. See all our cars and trucks at martychevrolet.com and go Braves. Henry Weiker's first pitch brushes inside. The 7-hitter in Sean Keys, he shifts out of the way, and it's 1-0. Bourne has come alive once again against the Cats. 4 runs in the bottom of the first. 1-0, cut on and missed from Keys, and it's 1-1. RBI from Sam Peterson on a ground out. Jonathan Vastine got Dorn Park going early on his leadoff triple. 1-1 fastball low and away, 2-1. And then Kendall Diggs picked up his 7th and 8th RBI with a single that found its way into center field, brought in Bodine and Eblin. 2-1 finds the zone, 2-2 here to Keys. And then New Contrades picked up another RBI on his season, bringing in Diggs. The 2-2 from Weicker. Ground ball right side of the infield. Out of reach for a diving Eblin. It finds its way out into right field. And Sean Keys, in just his third game played, he continues to produce for Cotuit. Now 5 for 8 on the season.
Now batting.
And that's the thing, in just his third game, comes in with a homer and 6 RBIs, just has found ways to get things done, and that's what Cotuit needed in their lineup with a lot of guys departing from the Kettleers.
Second hit for the Kettleers here. First pitch to Jacob Tobias, a changeup. Fools him, and it's 0-1. Small lead over at first, the 0-1. Fastball right on the outside edge. And it's 0-2 to Tobias, a .231 average. 6 RBIs this season, an on-base percentage of .273. Tobias, he's 1 for 6 in his last 2 games. Hasn't played a whole lot. Lefty on lefty here, nobody out. Top of the second, the 0-2 from Weicker. Ground ball, right side. Or excuse me, left side. Foster flips to Eblin. He wasn't over at second base. And in safely is Keys, and on base with the fielder's choice is Jacob Tobias.
Tough play there for Foster and Eblin. It was tough because Eblin not to the bag quick enough, but the jump from Keys, he was going to be close to second base, and Bourne, just not enough communication with Foster to just go to first to get the out. Tough miscue there for the Bravos defense that we talked about early on has been so good this summer.
So big spot here for the 9-hitter and Brock Wills. Another lefty here for Cotuit. First pitch high and inside, 1-0. 3 lefties here to begin the top of the second. And Keys, Tobias, and now Wills. A .327 average for a left fielder out of UNC Wilmington. 9 RBIs. .1-0. Fastball is low, and it's 2-0. Corners pinched in for Bourne with Contranes and Foster near the infield grass. Double play depth for Eblin and Vastine. Vastine a shade closer towards second base, and a pitch clock violation against Weicker. The 2-0 now moves to 3-0. And an inning where Bourne would have loved to shut down inning. Cotuit threatening early. And now time called by Wills in the box. Weicker set, Wills back in the box. Checks over at Keys at second, the 3-0. Swing and a miss from Wills. He had the green light on the 3-0. Came up empty on the fastball. It's 3-1. The 3-1. Another fastball. This one burning the outside edge. The count runs full. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Huge strikeout for Weicker. That's his first, and there's one away in the top of the second. Battled all the way back against Wills on a 3-0 count. Gave him 3 straight strikes.
Grant Norris.
And Weicker knew the importance of getting at least someone in the bottom of the order out as the top of the order loomed in the background. And here it is with Grant Norris. First pitch breaking ball, a touch inside, 1-0. Norris looking to cut into the deficit. The 1-0 bounces in and catches the foot of Norris. that will load the bases with one away here in the top of the second.
And it's been consistent
Now
pitches
batting,
for
the
Weicker, and he
designated
puts
hitter
that
from College of
batter
Charleston,
down
number
there
23,
in
Cole
Wills,
Mathis.
just an inside fastball at 88, and then comes back here to Norris and misses there on the breaking ball. And Matt mentioned Bourne kind of looking for that shutdown inning, and they need more consistent outs here from Weicker, more consistent strikes in the zone. Not many times can be able to battle back 3-0.
Now it's Cole Mathis. First pitch strike with the fastball down the chute. It's 0-1. Cam and I already talked about how dangerous Mathis is in contention for that Cape League MVP. Him and Hunter Hines, the home run leaders. 0-1. Mathis drives us in the air, right center field. Long run for Diggs. It'll split the gap out into right center field. It'll roll all the way to the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. Here comes Norris around third. Mathis on his way. And he slides in with a bases clearing triple. And just like that, Cotuit has tied it at 4 with 1 swing of the bat from Cole Mathis.
We touched on it pregame. What kind of game was this going to be? And so far, it's something we have not seen between Cotuit and Bourne. It's a close clash where both offenses are firing at all cylinders, and that's what we're seeing early on here. And Mathis continues to deliver for the Kettleers, an MVP running caliber guy for a reason.
And Cotuit looking to take the lead back. First pitch swing for Trevor Haskins. He pops it up out of play down the right field line. And the count moves to 0-1. 97 off the bat from Mathis on that fastball. Traveled 361. Splitting the gap out in right center between Chufreda and Diggs. The 0-1. Fastball high and outside, 1-1 to Haskins. He's already delivered with 1 RBI. A double into right center field. So his average going to go up, and his RBI total now up to 6. Looking to make it 7 as Mathis is over at third. 1-1 back up the middle. Vastine takes a peek at home. He won't throw. Takes the easy out at first. But Cotuit jumps back on top on the RBI ground out from Haskins. He's now got a pair tonight. It's 5-4. Kettleers here in the top of the second.
Kentucky, number 13, James McCoy.
And that's what Bourne did in that first inning. RBI groundouts. Cotuit showing it here. You don't need to do too much. Drive that run in with 1 out. Put a ball in play. Don't need any huge swings.
First pitch to James McCoy, a fastball above the letters, 1-0. What an exciting inning and a half it's been here. A lot of offense early. 1-0. McCoy takes the changeup upstairs, 2-0. 4 runs from the Braves in the bottom of the first. Cotuit responds with 4 of their own here in the top of the second. 2-0 fastball. Just missing on the outside corner, 3-0. The 3-0 from Weicker. Fastball catches the inside corner, 3-1. 3-1. Another fastball, another strike from Weicker. This one on the inner half once more, and the count runs full to James McCoy. Payoff pitch. High and inside. Turning his shoulder out of the way was McCoy, and he heads on down to first on a 2-out walk. Second time he's reached base on a free pass.
Now batting, the center fielder from the University of Indiana, number 12, Carter Matheson.
Third walk given out by Weicker. And now Carter Matheson comes up to bat. McCoy takes his one-step lead over at first, held on to by Contrades. First pitch fastball sails above the top of the zone, and it's 1-0.
I got a bear down right here for Weicker. Just keep it where it is. He almost came back there, down 3-0 once again. Gonna nod it here at 1-1.
1-0. Fastball low and away. That's 2-0 to Matheson. He's 0 for 1. Popped out to Foster at third. back in the first inning. Two-0. Breaking ball slides outside. And it's 3-0. And now we're seeing activity for Bourne in their bullpen over the left field fence. The 3-0 from Weicker. Fastball right at the letters to Matheson, 3-1. Some chin music to Matheson, and it's a 5-pitch walk. The fourth free pass given out by Weicker. Puts runners on first and second with 2 away. In the top of the second, Hugh Pinckney pops up from behind the plate. He'll go out and talk with Weicker on the mound. And as the left-hander has struggled with control in his second start for the Braves this season, and since coming back from his college visits, has not had the same killer instinct that he had in the first half of the season.
And for Weicker right now, looking to just bear down here, and he can do it. The stuff's there. It's just pounding in a first pitch strike. He's just going down too much, 2-0, and gives the hitters a chance, and they're just looking fastball.
First pitch inside to Dylan Johnson, and
Now
it's
batting,
1-0.
the catcher from College of Charleston, number 11, Dylan Johnson.
If Johnson finds a way to get on, Cotuit will have batted around here in the second as Sean Keyes began the inning with a single. He's on deck. 1-0. Too high, 2-0. There's a look down the bullpen. Looks to be Zach Grace, the left-hander out of Rowan. He's made one start. His only appearance this summer, that was in the 13-3 loss against Falmouth, a game that this entire Bourne team would like to forget. 2-0, too high, pops out of the glove of Pinckney. Both runners will advance another 90 feet. And this crooked number for Cotuit looking to become bigger, as now both Matheson and McCoy into scoring position. And a 3-0 count to Dylan Johnson.
And that lefty's still going for the Braves as well.
3-0. Fastball just finds the inside corner. A much-needed strike for Henry Weicker, and it's 3-1. From Weicker. Fouled off by Johnson. Weicher's battled back once again. He works the count full with 2 away.
And he keeps battling back to this 3-2 count. He's got to throw it in here and hope for the put-away pitch. Stop it right here.
Slow clap begins here. The 3-2. This one, a blooper out towards center field. That'll drop in. McCoy will score. Turning and burning around third. Here comes Matheson. He slides in safely. A 2-run single for Dylan Johnson. Cotuit adds on here in the second. Makes it 7-4.
Now batting, the third baseman from Bucknell University.
Good piece of hitting there from Johnson. Just a
Keyes.
89-mile-per-hour fastball up and in on the hands, but knowing it's a 2-strike pitch, throwing your hands through the zone, put it right back up the middle. And Cotuit, we knew their offense was coming hot with that 1 run early and threatening, and now they put up 6 in the second.
Scott Landers and the entire infield out to the mound. Talking with Weicker, just looking for one more out. Well, they point to Zach Grace out in the bullpen. Still trying to get loose for him. But they will take the ball from Weicker, and it will be Zach Grace coming out of the bullpen here for Bourne. We'll step aside, get you all you need to know on the left-hander coming into pitch here for the Braves. 6 runs for Cotuit so far here in the top of the second. They hold a 7-4 lead here at Dorn Park.
Bucknell University, number 17, Sean Keys.
We're back at Dorn Park, and Zach Grace has come out of the bullpen, set to go. The left-hander out of Rowan will make his second appearance on the summer. Made the start at Falmouth, went only 1 1/3. As you saw on your screen there, first pitch breaking ball low to left-hander and Sean Keys. He began this inning with a single. 1-0. Ground ball first base side, bounces foul. And it's 1-1. Keys came to score on the bases clearing triple from Cole Mathis that tied the game at 4. Since then, an RBI for Haskins and a pair of RBIs from Dylan Johnson, who stands over at first. Gave Cotuit another trio of runs, and it's 7-4 Kettleers here in the top of the second. The 1-1 popped up straight back, and it's 1-2.
And for Grace, not a lot of good from that first appearance against Falmouth, but we saw some of that stuff that he has. It just, kind of the problem with Weicker, it's just pounding strikes.
A 1-2. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. A much-needed out for Bourne and a huge strikeout for Zach Grayson, his first batter faced. We head to the bottom of the second. Cotuit puts up 6 in the top of the second. It's 7-4 Kettleers here on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
Now batting, the center fielder from Rutgers
Back
University,
at Dorn
number
Park,
24,
Cotuit going to the bullpen just like Bourne. Righty coming in here to face Pete Giuffreda to begin the bottom of the second, and it's Ben Koval out of Pitt, making his fourth appearance. He's 1-0 with a 12.27 ERA. And the 0-1 gets to the backstop, 1-1 to Giuffreda, the 9-hitter in this Bourne order. Bourne put up 4 in the bottom of the first. Cotuit answers with 6 in the top of the second. The 1-1 popped up straight back, 1-2 to Giuffreda. A 190 average for the center fielder on his way to Rutgers. Has been in a slump as of late. A 1-2. Check swing on the off speed. Did he go around? No, he did not, says Joe Gravina over at third. James Fonseca, the home plate umpire, pointed down to him. And the third member of the crew is Marvick Gomez over at first. The 2-2. Giuffreda shoots it the other way. This will sail out of play into the crowd of fans on the left field line. Count stays at 2-2. Koval working quickly. Here's the pitch. Off speed outside. Full count.
And you really want Giuffreda on right here, and now tough for Cotuit. They're going to have to really go to their bullpen the whole entire game.
Payoff pitch. Giuffreda turns. This one's a rocket down the right field line. But he was a tad early as it goes foul. Picked up by McCoy in right. He'll flip to a swarm of kids down the right field line. Here's another 3-2. Giuffreda fights it off with a foul ball. Just catching the piece in on the hands. Count stays full. Another 3-2. Swing and a miss. Giuffreda down on strikes. Koval gets his first punch out of the bullpen. And there's one away in the bottom of the second.
And it's going to be a long night for both teams in both bullpens. And you wonder how long Koval can go for this Cotuit squad. The longest he's gone is 2 1/3. His last 2 appearances, he's not even got an inning.
Now faces the top of the order in Jonathan Vastine. A first pitch changeup catches the outside portion of the plate, and it's 0-1. The 0-1. A fastball again on the outer half, and a called strike once more to Vastine. He's in an 0-2 hole. 1 for 1. Tripled back in the first, came in a score. The 0-2. Vastine back, straight back to Koval. Picks it up, flips to first. And it's in time for the second out.
And nice 2 quick outs for Koval out of the bullpen, kind of keeping things steady. That's what Bourne wanted in the top half of the second. Now Cotuit getting it after putting up a 6 spot to that 3-run lead. That's what you want after a big inning on the offensive side. A 1-2-3, control the momentum, and that's what the Kettleers are doing right now.
Sam Peterson, the righty, comes up to bat. First pitch fastball on the outside half. And it's 0-1. Peterson's 0 for 1, but picked up an RBI in the first. A ground out to Haskins at short. Brought in Vastine, tied the game at 1. He's in an 0-2 hole as Koval has settled into himself, and he's working quickly on the mound. Already set here on the 0-2. He's got his sign, and here comes the pitch. Bounces in. Good block from Johnson. Peterson will step out to take a moment to breathe. The 1-2 from Koval. Peterson chops it foul down the third base line. Picked up by John Topolescu over at third. He's the third base coach, and over at first is Lucas Olson. The 1-2 to Peterson. Swing and a miss. He goes down on strikes. A 1-2-3 inning for Ben Koval out of the bullpen. We'll head into the third. It's a 7-4 Cotuit lead over Bourne on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
18, Jacob Tobias.
Back at Doran Park, Zach Grace quickly back onto the mound, set for his first full inning of work. Facing Jacob Tobias. First pitch, chopper down the first base side. Jacob Tobias reached on a fielder's choice back in the second, came in to score. The 0-1, popped up, stays on the infield third base side. Cam Foster, not having to move an inch, makes the catch for the first out here in the third.
Exactly what Bourne needs to start off the third. First out, first pitch strikes, nice from Grace. And Cotuit looking to control that momentum. Bourne looking to not give them anything more than they have right now.
Carolina Wilmington, number 3, Brock Wills.
First pitch fastball, catches the outside half to Brock Wills, and it's 0-1. The 0-1. Another fastball, this one on the outside edge, and it's 0-2. The 0-2 from Grace. Ground ball, left side. Foster charges in, picks it up, fires to first. The stretch from Contrades. It's in time. New Contrades showing his athleticism over at first. Cam Foster with a nice strong play over at third. And there's 2 away here in the top of the third inning.
Number 9, Grant Norris.
Nice play there. Foster keeping his feet, but Contrades, we were wondering his ability at first base. That's a nice flexible stretch to make that play.
First pitch, a strike to Grant Norris. The 0-1. Fastball dips low inside, 1-1. Norris, well, he hasn't had much time to swing the bat. Led off the game with a 5-pitch walk and then was hit by a pitch his second time around against Weicker. 1-1, low in the dirt, blocked by a Pinckney. It's 2-1. Came in to score in the second. Was driven in on a bases clearing triple from Cole Mathis. Tied the game at 4. 2-1. Norris turns, drives this one out to right center field. Long run for Diggs, racing into the gap. He dives. Did he get it? Yes, he did. Kendall Diggs, how do you do? Another spectacular catch out in right field. And what a way to end the top of the third inning. Zach Grace staying out. He wants to give Kendall Diggs a high five. An outstanding play in right field. We head to the bottom of the third. A 1-2-3 for Zach Grace with a huge assist from Kendall Diggs at 7-4 Cotuit here in the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network. Back at Doran Park, and Caden Bodine leads off for Bourne in the bottom of the third. Koval back on the mound. First pitch outside to the switch-hitting DH, and it's 1-0. Kendall Diggs, I mean, he might be a Sports Center top 10 magnet as the 1-0 is chopped foul by Bodine, 1-1. An unreal catch to end the top of the third. A long run from right field. He goes full extension to rob Grant Norris of what would have been extra bases as the 1-1 above the letters to Bodine, 2-1. Thought he made another spectacular catch in Harwich last night as the 2-1 bounces in. It's 3-1, but popped out of his glove, and now he gets redemption here. And it's not the first time we've seen him lay out in right field. 3-1 inside to Bodine, and he works his second walk of the night. Cam, you were on the call for the other two. Made an unreal sliding catch and foul ground down the right field line, and then another Superman-like play in right center earlier this week.
From the University of Alabama.
And one's tough to do in foul territory, but coming in, but one going back and on the warning track also tough in itself to make that catch. And off the bat, we weren't sure is that a triple, is that a home run, but man, Diggs just has an eye for those type of plays.
First pitch to Bryce Eblin. Cuts and misses, and it's 0-1. Bourne looking to bounce back here against Cotuit. Took the lead after the bottom of the first, but 6 runs from the Kets in the top of the second. Has it at a 7-4 advantage for Cotuit. 0-1. Low to Eblin, 1-1. Bodine takes his lead over at first. Tobias holding on to him. The lefty and Eblin. The 1-1. Eblin line drive. It finds its way into center field. Stumbling a little bit is Matheson taking advantage. Bodine turning around second on his way to third. He'll get the stop sign there. Eblin a head first dive back to first as the throw came back in. Bryce Eblin's 2 for 2. He puts runners on the corners with nobody out here in the bottom of the third.
Bryce Eblin's swing is so smooth, just very level, finds a way on any kind of pitch. We saw him last night hit a low and inside slider that looked like a ball. We've seen him be able to go up and get a fastball as he did there, and he's just finding ways to get on base and keep innings alive. And jolting Bourne right now in a good spot to crawl back.
And here's the man of the hour in Kendall Diggs, looking to bring his team back in it. First pitch outside for ball 1. Diggs is 1 for 1, a single with a pair of RBIs in the first. He later came in to score on the new Contrades RBI single. He has Eblin at first, Bodine at third. 1-0. Down over top of the shoes of the left-handed hitter, and it's 2-0. Third baseman and Keys pinched in towards the infield grass at third. The 2-0 finds the inside half, 2-1. The 2-1. Off speed. In the heart of the zone. 2-2 to Diggs.
And if you're Diggs here, you're looking to do what Peterson did with a runner on third. At the very worst, fly ball to the outfield. Sac fly, only allow 1 run and 1 out. Just trade that off here.
2-2. Eblin going. Swing and a miss from Diggs. The throw down is not in time. The swim move from Bryce Eblin, able to evade the tag of Haskins. He moves into scoring position. It was a great throw from Johnson.
Now batting, the first baseman from
But a
Arizona
better
State
move from
University,
Eblin. He's in
number 3,
safely with his
Lou
6th stolen
Contreras.
base. Diggs goes down on strikes, and there's 1 away in the bottom of the third. Second strikeout for Koval.
And a great swim move there from Evelyn. Could have been costly and would have just been killer for Bourne. Strike him out, throw him out, get 2 away. But thankfully here, now the chance for Contreras, and can bring in 2 right here, cut this deficit, and bring him to only 1 run.
First pitch to Contreras. Ground ball right side. Norris ranges over. He's going to take the out at first. Bodine comes in to score. Contreras, his second RBI of the night, cuts the deficit down to 2. It's 7-5.
Not the worst thing if you're there for Bourne. And this is a long baseball game. You're only in the bottom of the third, and the runs have been coming around for both teams. You get 1 back right here, and Foster still has the chance to get 2 back here. But nice job bringing 1 in.
First pitch to Cam Foster, lined out towards left field, and it's caught by Brock Wills for the 3rd out. Bourne gets 1 back on the RBI ground out from New Contreras. And we'll head to the 4th, but first we'll down to the 3rd member of our team, Allie Navarrete. What have you got for us, Allie?
Thanks, guys. Bravo's defense has been thriving as of late, and tonight is no exception. A crazy catch there from Kendall Diggs in right field to get the 3rd out in the top of the 3rd. We've already seen Diggs land himself on SportsCenter top 10 once this season. Maybe he'll be there again tonight. I also spoke to one of his outfielder teammates before the game, Sam Peterson. He told me that it's just a treat to work with this outfield day in, day out. He said they're all talented, they're all fast, and again, that's on full display already. So the Bravos look to come back in this one against the Kettleers. The defense definitely going to need to step up as they have been over the last couple nights. Back to you guys when we come back.
New Contreras gets 1 back for the Bravos in the bottom half of the 3rd. They make it 7-5. The Kettleers in front. The 5th meeting of the season between these 2 West Division rivals. And Cotuit now back to the plate. It will be 2-3-4 for them. Cole Mathis, Trevor Haskins, and James McCoy do up. And Zach Grace back on the bump.
Number 23, Cole Mathis.
And the manager here for the Kettleers, and Mike Roberts, talking to the home plate umpire, having a conversation behind home plate. James Fonseca now gets set, and Roberts heads towards the 3rd base side. But Mathis will step in here. Had a big bases clearing triple back in the 2nd. Gray sets, fires, first pitch up and in. Long game so far, and it was 6 runs in the top of the 2nd for Cotuit. Bourne held them in the 3rd, and the Kettleers looking to extend here. Grace is 1-0. Fastball going to miss on the inside corner. 2 balls, no strikes. Grace a 1-2-3 3rd inning for him. His 2-0 pitch, low and inside, 3 straight balls to the DH in Mathis. As we talked about, Grace had that start against Falmouth in his first appearance back on Friday. Not the one that he wanted, but his bounce back so far. Looking to work back here. 3-0 pitch in the zone. Just clipping the outside corner to Mathis. Mathis also scored in the first, has scored 2 times. 3-1 pitch. Mathis clips it back, 3-2. He's produced so far in this one 5 runs for the Kettleers. Three balls, 2 strikes. Gray sets. Here's the pitch, off speed, low and inside, and not going to clip the zone. Mathis jogs down to first base, the 3rd time that he's reached the bags tonight, And a leadoff base runner for the Kettleers brings up Trevor Haskins.
Now batting, the shortstop from Stanford University.
Yeah,
number
Cam
10,
talked about
Trevor
the importance of
Haskins.
Mathis and what he's done so far tonight. 5 of the 7 runs for Cotuit has come by him one way or the another. 2 runs scored for him and then 3 RBIs. Now he's on base, and you're getting into that heart of the order that's a lot real patient.
First pitch here to Haskins, a called strike on the breaking ball. The ready so far, 1 for 2, doubled back in the first inning. 0-1 pitch, ground ball at Eblin at second base, picks it up, on to second to Vastine for 1. On to first, a double play. 4-6-3. Eblin, Vastine, and Contrades. Exactly what the Braves want. 2 outs in the top of the 4th.
Now batting, the right fielder.
James
from
McCoy
University of
comes to the
Kentucky,
plate,
number
but Bourne
13,
shutting down
James
anything
McCoy.
that the Kettleers want in the top half.
Cam, you say it best whenever there's a double play turned. It's silky smooth, and there's really no other way to describe it. The flip from Eblin and Vastine.
First pitch to James McCoy. This one's low.
Vastine just such a great defender, quick with his exchange. Talking with Ali, he always keeps that internal clock in his mind, and on a double play, you want to be quick and you want to stay smooth in your motions.
1-0 pitch, a wave and a miss. McCoy out in front. And we talked about Vastine and Eblin, and it's been talked about on TikTok as one of the bromances on this Bourne squad, but 2 guys that work very hard for a lot of early work here from Dorn Park. 1-1 pitch to the backstop from Grace. They've talked about hard work. We've talked about Eblin being a true leader on this team, coming back after his stellar playoff stint in 2022. And what Vastine's done since he's gotten here is played every game at shortstop. Grace's 2-1 pitch, low and inside, almost clips McCoy, 3-1. McCoy 0 for 0, has walked twice, scored back in the second. Grace looking to face his minimum so far. 3-1 pitch, fouled back, and works the count full. Grace also an exceptional season at Rowan at the D3 level. Was the Region 4 pitcher of the year. Got his stint here on the Cape. His payoff pitch, wave and a miss. Puts McCoy down swinging. Grace gets that punch out. And puts one on. Mathis with the walk, but that double play. Eblin, Vastine, and Contrades. Grace gets the K. And that ends the top half of the 4th inning. We'll head to the bottom half. Bourne trails Cotuit 7-5 here on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network. Bottom four here from Dorn Park. We bring a special guest on to the broadcast. Ryan Enos, the 2022 champion here with the Bourne Braves, and hit one of the biggest home runs that you'll see in a Braves uniform. Game 2 of that championship series last year against Brewster gave the Bravos a 6-1 lead. Welcome back to Dorn Park, Ryan.
Thank you. Thanks for having me out here.
So last time you were here, it was Game 1 against Brewster. How does it feel to be back? Still different atmosphere as a whole, probably a lot more fans for Game 1 against Brewster.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great atmosphere that night. The whole season last year was great. I mean, they would pack the park every night, and they'd get loud, and it really helped us out there on the field.
New pitcher on the mound here for the Kettleers. It's Cullen McKay out of Virginia. And Ryan, we'll talk about your relationship with Scott Landers at Oswego State and what you were able to do there in your few years of work and then transferring to East Tennessee State as well to play your baseball. Hugh Pinckney will dig in, 8-9-1 for the Braves. McKay sets, fires on the first pitch. This one's low. What was your relationship like with Scott Landers, and how did it change going from the Division III level and then coming here to play with him on Cape Cod?
I mean, I've always had a great relationship with him. He brought me in as a freshman and gave me a chance, and I proved myself there. And he's always the ultimate player's coach, everyone always says. And he's the exact same way here. Like last year, we'd be talking to all the other players here, and they're like, is he like this at Oswego? And I'm like, yeah, he's the exact same. And they just all loved him, and we all love him at Oswego.
Pinckney picks up leadoff single here in the bottom half of the fourth. Pete Giuffreda will now dig in. You talk about him being a player's coach, and a lot of guys talk about that as well. And from him on the Cape, what's kind of been his big message to you guys last summer about what he wanted you guys to take away from this summer, playing your summer baseball up here, and kind of the best of the best and almost, the best kind of weather and place that you want to play baseball?
Yeah, I mean, he always talks about having confidence in yourself and trusting your abilities. He's not one of those coaches that'll make you do it his way or the highway. He's like, you're here for a reason. Just have confidence in yourself, and he'll work with you if you're struggling or need some help here and there. But he wants you to go out there and do what you can do because you're here for a reason, and just always have confidence in yourself and just be you.
1-1 count here to Giuffreda. Pinckney on, and Bourne trailing by 2 in a tough spot right now. The Kettleers and the Bravos, two of the top teams at the moment, and Cotuit being that top team. This one up top to Giuffreda, 2-1. And last summer, you guys playing against Cotuit a lot. You guys took that President's Trophy towards the end of this season. What were your games like against the Kettleers? Got the best of them a few times at Lowell Park.
I think they were always close games. They all kind of blend together.
Yeah.
Thinking back on them, but yeah, the one for the President's Cup was the last day of the season, and we needed it, and we came out and played well. I think we got a great pitching performance. I can't remember who was pitching, but he threw well, and we got enough runs for him, so it was just a great day.
3-1 count. McKay sets here. Pinckney off first base. Long look in. The pitcher, Giuffreda. This one outside, ball 4. Now first and second for the Braves. Top of the order, Jonathan Vastine. And Bryce Eblin also in this 4 hitters in the top of the order for the Braves. He's been so hot right now, riding a 9-game hit streak. What was your relationship with Bryce like last summer and what he was able to do in the playoffs?
Oh, Bryce is the best. He's just one of the guys you gravitate towards. He's just a great personality, and he's fun to be around, and he works really hard. You can see he's always out there before the game taking extra swings, and then even when we're done hitting BP, he goes back out. You can just tell he worked really hard at it, and it's been paying off for him.
Vastine here knobbing this one foul. And that team last summer, do a lot of you guys still keep in touch and knowing how memorable that was for your group?
Yeah, we still keep in touch. We have a couple group chats, especially in the past couple weeks with the draft and everyone getting drafted from last year. So just a lot of congratulatory texts and just keeping up with each other. It's been fun to see how everyone performed throughout their college season and then now into pro ball.
Matt Shaw, I didn't obviously get to see him, but him going first round and the talk from him last summer being the Cape League MVP. From what you saw from Shaw, was he really as good as the stats say? And talk about him just as a teammate to you.
Yeah, him and Bryce are the same way. I mean, they work so hard, and you can tell they're putting everything they got into it. He was unreal last year. Every game he had 2 hits.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he did it again.
Would you guys be able to hit with, Shaw, Bryce Eblin? What would you take away from those guys, obviously being the 2 hot hitters and really hot at the right time?
Yeah, I mean, you just learn from their approach, and they obviously see the ball really well. So when they come back to the dugout, you kind of see like what the pitcher's got, what he's going to that day, what his tendencies are, and so just stuff like that, and just picking stuff up and asking him questions before and after.
Sack bunt there from Vastine. Both runners advanced. Jufreda to second, Pinckney to third, and here's Sam Peterson. Peterson so far 0 for 2, picked up an RBI to start off this game. At Oswego State, you had an unbelievable career, batted over 370 in the at-bats that you put together. First pitch to Peterson outside. Talk about your time there in Central New York and being able to play that baseball with Scott Landers and how well you were able to do. What did you take away from that experience?
Oh, it was just the time of my life. It was just fun every day. It was fun to come to the ballpark every day. You really wanted to work. Our team was really close. We'd always be together, hanging out, even off the field, and just doing stuff. So that's the kind of stuff that you remember and take away, is just being with your teammates and having a good time. And then obviously Coach Landers is a great leader, so we always talked about getting better on the field, but also developing as players and men.
Peterson, a big swing and a miss there. Now count 2-1, and then transferring to the Division I level, and then going to Tennessee, and that as a whole, or it might have been D2.
That was D1.
Yeah, it was, yes. So the weather difference there, I got to ask, because I go to Ithaca, and in a very cold spot like that.
Yeah.
Talk about how that changed, knowing that you could play baseball pretty much all year round.
Oh yeah, we were outside a week after we got there. I got back January 9th, and we were outside by the 20th. So obviously a lot different from Oswego and Ithaca, where you're from, where we don't get outside until sometimes the first game is the first time we're outside on a real field. I mean, we have like the indoor field house and stuff like that, but being outside and like playing on a field, it's the first time you go is your first game. You have to go south to do it.
Peterson hit here. Bases now loaded for Caden Bodine in a big spot. And we've talked about it on this broadcast for a lot of different guys on this team. Sam Peterson playing at Iowa, and him having to play baseball from February on to a guy like Bryce Evelyn must make a big difference for that weather. And did you ever play in any snow games up with Scott Landers and those freezing weathers? I can just feel it right now on my fingertips.
Yeah, we've played a couple of snow games. I remember one game we were playing we couldn't play at our field because it was not ready. So we played at Maine Enwell in Binghamton.
Okay.
And it was coming down like a snowstorm, and we were playing through it.
And when you're playing in a snowstorm like that, it's got to be tough to do. Is there anything that you guys would be able to prepare for it? Is it still just a one batting glove mentality, maybe some hand warmers in the back pockets?
Yeah, some hand warmers, portable heater in the dugout, and then when it's snowing, you just got to focus in even more because it's tough to see, and then you got to still do your job.
Mound visit here for the Kettleers, and Mike Roberts will walk back to the first base dugout. Bodine digs in a huge spot right now for the Braves. Born in Cotuit. Cotuit, a game and a half up of Hyannis for that top spot. First pitch outside. I'd love to know, Ryan, and always the story of how players get started with baseball. How did your journey on the diamond begin?
Ever since I can remember, I mean, starting in T-ball, and then my dad always coached. He coached softball for the high school I went to, so I'd always be there with my brother playing at his practices and just doing stuff around them. And then he ended up coaching the varsity team when my brother was there, and I think my last year he was there too. But so I was always been around it, and he was always our coach from T-ball, the minor league, little league, all the way through. So it was just kind of, ever since I can remember, it's what I've been doing.
Big swing and a miss there from Bodine. Count now 2-1. The Braves looking to crawl back. That tying run on second base. This one comes in. Count knotted at 2 apiece. What was your approach on a 2-2 count? Were you looking just mostly off speed or trying to adjust from a fastball to an off speed pitch?
You always got to be on time for the fastball, and then you just try and see spin out of the hand while still staying on time for the fastball, and just laying off the chase pitches and trying to put something in play here, especially with one out. I mean, put a ball in play that's trying not to hit out of the double play. But
3-2 pitch, up and outside, ball 4. Pinckney will jog it and score. Jufreda to third, Peterson to second. Bodine picks up a walk and drives in a run. The Bravos only trail by 1. It's 7-6. That tying run moves up 90 feet. And the go-ahead on the pond for your former teammate in Bryce Evelyn. And you bring up one out hitting. And right now, another thing, does the adjustment change when you're maybe trying to just hit for a fly ball? First pitch to Evelyn is called strike.
There is a little bit of adjustment towards your approach. So, like early in the count, before you get to 2 strikes, you're looking for a pitch that you can get in the air and drive and obviously stay out of the double play. But you don't want to chase to – you want to try and get in a hitter's count, obviously. And then now with 2 strikes, he's going to have to battle here.
And I know guys like Evelyn, and there's different guys in this lineup that choke up and widen their stance more with 2 strikes. Was that something that you would bring to the table?
Yeah, I would always do that. That's something Landers talks about and teaches a lot. Just putting pressure on the defense with 2 strikes, putting the ball in play. You got to make a play.
0-2 pitch. Evelyn Chopper, first base side, just trickles foul. And we'll do it again. A sigh of relief for McKay and Cotuit. Trying to work a double play here. Lights have not fully come on here from Dorn Park. The corner's in here for the Kettleers. Middle infield back. No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch once again. Evelyn fouls this one back. And also being around Jared Saltomachia as well. How was that experience for the little time that you were able to just maybe pick his brain and get some tips from a guy that had over a decade MLB career with the Red Sox?
Yeah, he was great. I mean, he's a little intimidating because he's so big, but
this could be 2. Norris, Haskins to first. Evelyn slides. It's in time. And Cotuit gets out of the inning. They keep it at 7-6. A 4-6-3 double play. Evelyn grounds into it, and they keep it where it is. But, Ryan, we thank you so much for joining us. One more thing I got to ask you. It's my favorite question to ask ball players. Any superstitions that you have throughout your career?
Oh, I've had a lot. I'd say the craziest one is with my gum. So I'd always chew the same 2 pieces for the full game, and I'd chew it on the left side when we were hitting, right side when we were in the field.
Wow, that's probably the best one I've heard so far.
I got a lot, so.
It's all hands on deck.
That's amazing. I've heard guys that wear the same socks, so this one a little bit more hygienic, I would probably say.
Yeah. I mean, I usually wear the same like socks and stuff underneath, but I always wash them before I wear them.
We appreciate the time. Ryan Enos, the 2022 champ here with the Bravos. The Braves looking to run it back, and Ryan Enos, the guy that was big during that championship run. Top 5 coming up here from Dorn Park. Stick with us on the Born Braves Broadcast Network.
Number 12, Carter Matheson.
Bourne gets 1 back in the bottom half of the 4th. We head to the top half of the 5th. Cotuit in front of Bourne 7-6. And they'll bring up the heart of their order. Here's the 5-hitter, Carter Matheson. Zach Grace back in the bump. First pitch up and inside. Joined alongside Matt Scalzo as Ryan Enos. Great talking to him, the 2022 champ, and his superstitions. Matt, I'm not sure if you heard it, but we'll bring it up after this pitch. 1-0 comes in. This one upstairs. 2 straight balls from Grace to Matheson. Enos would chew the same 2 pieces of gum for the whole entire game. And I think he said for each part of an inning, half top or bottom, as the 2-0 comes in, flowing out towards left center field. Trufretta running in towards the gap. He'll call off Peterson and make the catch for out number 1. He would chew it on the left and right side of his mouth.
That is
Now batting.
That's oddly specific.
Yeah.
Number 11.
So like
Dylan
top half he'd
Johnson.
chew it on the right and bottom it'd be on his left or vice versa.
Yep. And I've heard of some very, crazy superstitions, and I think we talked to Josh Hugh and Vance Honeycutt before he decided not to come with the Braves, but about their superstitions. There was some interesting stuff, but nothing like that. First pitch of Dylan Johnson, a called strike. And gum can get old. It depends on what it is. You're chewing the same 2 pieces through a 9-inning game. 0-1 pitch, breaking ball back in the zone. Grace, 2 straight balls and an at-bat to 2 straight strikes. Here to Johnson. Looking for his second punch out. The lefty sets. He fires, wave and a miss. 2 off speeds, then up the ladder to the elevated heater. Second strikeout for the southpaw, and there's 2 away in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, it's what you like to see from Grace here coming out of the bullpen, settling in, trying to find his groove after a tough outing at Falmouth. And right now, if you're Bourne, you need some stability, someone to go a couple innings or 2, or 3, excuse me.
First pitch to Sean Keys is upstairs. Keys is 1 for 2, had 2 at-bats in the second inning when Cotuit batted around on their 6th spot. Grace, a long look into the sign from Pinckney. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Keys, a big swing and a miss. Back to the elevated fastball is Grace. Count 1-1.
Yeah, this is what you like to see from Grace. Someone who was an All-American at Rowan. One of their top pitchers, if not their top pitcher.
1-1, just going to miss low. Count 2-1.
And against Falmouth, just to start that he'd like to forget. Heading to the All-Star break, and he seems to have gotten past it here.
2-1, breaking ball inside, and not biting his Keys. 3 balls, 1 strike. Rowan going to the Super Regional, losing to Salisbury, but Grace having the opportunity to pitch in that Elite 8 level. 3-1 pitch, popped up, and this one out of play over the head of Matt and I. We both give it a quick look. Still have not got a foul ball right up here on the deck. Would be very tough to do. We've seen a few off the roof of the press box.
Yeah, I think our best bet is if it lands off the slanted roof
and
to
rolls
our
down.
right. Yeah. I think Allie and I talked about that.
Payoff pitch, check swing, and just foul tipped from Keys. Staying alive by a few inches. But Bourne looking to keep it where it is. It was a 1-2-3 inning to start for Grace in the 3rd, an unconventional in the 4th after the walk and then the double play. Looking to set 3 down in the 5th. Sets, fires, 3-2. High drive, right field, and deep. Keys giving it a look on the right side. Diggs coming towards the line, towards the foul line, and this ball's gone! Hooking towards the Dorn Park pesky pole. And Cotuit takes a 2-run lead. The solo blast from Sean Keys, his 2nd home run here on the Cape in just his 3rd game. It's 8-6.
And Keys doing exactly what you want to do if you want to be able to take advantage of that pesky pole-like setup here at Dorn Park, like Cam said. You got to send it right down the line here and right, and that's exactly what Keys did. You knew off the bat it was going to get out, but would it be fair?
First pitch to Jacob Tobias is low. And Grace just a pitch away from that 1-2-3 inning. But Keys going long ball continues to mash here in his early stint with Cotuit. 1-0 pitch, off speed outside corner, a called strike. And if not a lot of people know what we're referring to the pesky pole, if you're not a big baseball fan or Red Sox fan at that, they're short right field pole at Fenway Park. 1-1 pitch, clipped straight back. Count now 1-2 to Tobias. And the pesky pole at Fenway hooks in even more than here at Dorn Park. But it pushes the same out, 360 in straightaway right here in Bourne. 1-2 pitch, up and inside, some chin music to Tobias, 2-2.
Yeah, at Fenway, the pesky pole, it's really flat down the line and has a wall that extends with it to where if you really want to hook it, you got to hook it.
2-2 pitch, cut on and missed, out in front of the off-speed. Pinckney picks it up on the drop. 3rd fires to 1st, it's in time. The 3rd punch out for Zach Grace gets out of the inning, but Cotuit gets 1 on the Sean Keys solo shot. Makes it 8-6 through 4.5 from Dorn Park. Bottom 5 coming up. The Kettleers in front of the Braves, 8-6. Stick with us on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network. We head to the bottom of the fifth here from Dorn Park. Sean Keys, a solo home run makes it 8-6 Cotuit. And Bourne now looking to crawl back in what's been an offensive clash so far. It's 5-6-7 Kendall Diggs. The first batter McKay will see. First pitch, ground ball, first base side, and dribbles foul towards the right side of the bag. Diggs so far, 2 RBIs at that 2 RBI single in the first, struck out in the third. New Contreras and Cam Foster to follow here in the bottom of the fifth. Third baseman in Keys just had that home run. He steps in on the grass. 0-1 pitch, fastball upstairs. Some trouble in that fourth inning for McKay, but worked out of it. Only 1 run allowed. Loaded the bases. There's 1-1 to Diggs. Inside corner on the fastball. And this one just going to miss. This past season for him at Virginia, not bad overall. And for Cotuit so far, 1-0, a 2.25 ERA. It's 2-1 to Diggs. Fouled right back at us. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that came at us quick. I think if there was no netting, it might have hit off the top of the railing in front of us.
Very hard hit foul ball from Diggs. Looking to stay alive here. McKay looking to put the first batter down here to start the inning. 2-2 pitch. Diggs pops it up, flares out of play. Third base side. Keys giving it a look right by the concession stands. But Bourne loaded the bases. Pinckney started off with a single, and they had their chance on a Bodine walk. And then Bryce Evelyn just right at the second baseman in Norris for a 4-6-3 double play. Diggs that wide lefty stance, 2-2 count. Here's the offering. Fastball outside, moves it full. And we talked about it pregame. What was this game going to be like? It's been pitchers' duels at Dorn Park, offensive blowouts for Bourne at Lowell Park. 3-2 pitch. This one's going to clip Diggs. And he falls to the ground right in the lefty's batter's box. Looks like just on the lower part of his leg, either the shin or the foot of Diggs, and went to the ground immediately. Walking himself to first base. Been a very tough spot for him to get hit. Has to take a second here. New Contreras will be the hitter.
Now batting, the first baseman from Arizona State University, number 30.
And Diggs, he's found his way on base when he can. That's the 5th time he's been hit by a pitch this season. And you saw him instantly fall to the ground. Kind of was writhing in pain a little bit. You see on his back, just went straight to the ground. The chalk and the dirt in the lefty's batter's box, but he's going to stay in the game. He's one tough cookie.
Here's the first pitch to New Contreras. Line drive, left field, down in the grass for a base hit. Diggs has the second. New Contreras swinging a hot piece of lumber. 2 RBIs today, his second hit, the second time he'll reach base for the Braves.
Now batting, the third baseman.
And Diggs, he was moving around
number 21, Cameron.
A little gingerly. There was an obvious kind of limp when he was running to second. Scott Landers, he's going to be wary of that, keep his eye on it. Gage Harrelson is the only other outfielder. But
first pitch to Cam Foster to the backstop, gets past Johnson. Both runners will advance. Diggs to third, Contreras to second. That tying run on the pond. And the Braves another chance here. Both sides have gotten their opportunities here tonight. Cotuit struck first in the first with 1 run. The Braves followed with 4. The Kettleers followed with 6. And it's been back and forth since. Mike Roberts, the manager for the Kettleers, talking to his pitcher in McKay, and this looks like it will do it for him. A pitcher and a lefty running out of the bullpen in right field for Cotuit. And that's the night for McKay out of the bullpen. 2 runners on here for the Bravos. Nobody out in the bottom of the 5th inning. A chance for the Braves to tie it. Cam Foster will be in the box when we return on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network. 2 runners on for the Bravos here in the bottom of the 5th. Nobody out. Cam Foster comes to the plate, and the new pitcher, the southpaw out of George Washington, Teddy Brennan. This will be his 3rd appearance on his summer. Has only gone 3 2/3 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts to 8 walks. It's not been the start for Cotuit that he's wanted, and comes into a big spot right here. That tying run for the Braves on second base in Contreras. Digs off third. Here's the first pitch from the lefty to Foster. Off speed comes in, and this one just going to miss. To the righty out of Liberty, 2 balls, no strikes.
And the switch up mid at bat, granted only 1 pitch to Foster, but Mike Roberts quick for the change.
Brennan sets, 2-0 pitch. Foster a wave and a miss. Count now 2-1. Foster 0 for 2 so far. A hard line out in the 3rd. Right at the left fielder in Wills. He steps back in here, has 10 RBIs on his summer, looking for the 11th and the 12th. 2-1 pitch, ground ball, third base side, bobbled at third from Keys. Will throw to home. Diggs is going to be tagged out and caught in hot water. Contreras will stay at second base. Foster goes to first on the fielder's choice, but not what Bourne wanted there. The first out of the inning. Diggs just caught off guard. Maybe thought this ball was rolling to left field. He's gunned out from Keys on the tag from Johnson at home.
Yeah, just a tough play. Took that secondary lead, and it went straight to Keys at third. And you got to make a decision on what you want to do.
Hugh Pinckney calls time in the box here before the first pitch. Single back in the 4th inning. 3 RBIs on his summer with the Bravos. First pitch to him, breaking ball at the knees, a called strike. Pinckney scored as well, one of the 6 runs for the Braves. Looking to drive in a couple right here. Brennan set to look at second. 0-1 pitch, bounces to the plate, blocked from Johnson. Keeps both runners steady on the bags. Big spot for the Bravos. Cotuit has been itching deep into their bullpen. 1-1 pitch, slider outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Their 4th pitcher so far in Brennan, and may not be their last. Some other Kettleer bullpen arms stretching in right field. Brennan sets, 2-1 pitch, breaking ball once again. It's going to miss, a check down. And Joe Gravina says that Pinckney did not go around. 3 balls, 1 strike. Pinckney's average up to 244. He's been so much better of late in his opportunities behind the plate for the Bravos. 3-1 pitch. Off speed in there for a strike clip in the outside corner. And the count moves all the way back full. 7 hits for the Bravos, 5 for Cotuit. Bourne and Cotuit have been trading runs the last 2 half innings. Bourne looking for one here. 3-2 pitch, Pinckney, grounder, first base side, picked up on a hop from Tobias. He'll flip to Brennan at first base, the PFPs, and a 3-1 putout. Foster and Contreras both advance, 2nd and 3rd for the Braves. And now Pete Giuffreda, the final chance in the bottom of the 5th. It's in his hands for Bourne.
From Rutgers University, number 24, Pete Giuffreda.
Yeah, and that's a ground ball that you would like to have in the Foster AB, but righty and a lefty, that's what you're going to get. And now Bourne, you're in a big spot, looking for Pete to come through.
First pitch at Giuffreda is upstairs. Giuffreda 0 for 1, and then got on via the walk. Comes into the game batting 190. And looking to get back on track and do it right here. Brennan's 1-0 pitch, Giuffreda, a big hack. Out in front of the breaking ball, low and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Was big for the Bravos early on, has gotten into this slump towards the middle parts of July. But one swing could change it. 1-1 pitch comes in inside corner, not going to be called a strike from Fonseca. 2 balls, 1 strike. That tying run is Foster on second base, Contreras off third. The lefty sets. He fires. Giuffreda, a hack and a miss once again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and a chance for Brennan to get out of this inning, and for Cotuit, another jam to work out of. We saw McKay get out of the 4th. 2nd and 3rd here. Can Brennan do it for them? The 2-2 pitch, wave and a miss. Giuffreda down swinging for the 2nd time tonight. And Cotuit holding their lead. 8-6 after 5 innings of play here from Dorn Park. Top 6 coming up. The Kettleers looking for more on the offensive side when we return on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
Cape Cod Coca-Cola thanks you for supporting the Cape Cod Baseball League.
We head to the 6th here from Dorn Park, and there is your new pitcher, the righty out of Yukon, Jack Sullivan. 0-2 so far on his summer. His last outing was against Brewster, and it was one of his best so far. Went 1 inning in the win, 1 walk and 1 strikeout, no hits and no runs for the 6-foot junior from Storrs. He'll face 9-1-2 in the Cotuit order: Brock Wills, Grant Norris, and Cole Mathis. And a big part of their order and what Mathis has done for Cotuit. Had a bases-clearing triple in the 2nd inning. Sullivan looking to bear down right here. Cotuit and Bourne have been trading runs. It was 1 run in the 4th for Bourne. Cotuit followed in the top of the 5th. No runs for the Bravos in the bottom half of the 5th. And can Cotuit get back here on the offensive side? First pitch here to Wills. Is just going to miss low and inside, 1-0. Wills at a UNC Wilmington, batting .327 coming into this game. 1-0. Chopper first base side. Sullivan running over. Same with Contreras. Contreras picks it up. A flip to Sullivan. The step on the bag. It's in time. Some hot potato from the Bravos defense. Big out number 1 here in the top of the 6th.
Well, that's the first time we've really seen Contreras
Now batting, the second baseman
have to
from
show
Penn State
his
University,
ability
number
over
9,
at first
Grant
on a play
Norris.
like that. We saw a nice stretch on a play earlier, but to come off the bag, get it to Sullivan.
First pitch to Grant Norris, a high drive towards left center field. Giuffreda coming in towards the gap, and he'll come in and make the catch. 2 quick outs for the Braves, flashing their defense. Number 1 on the defensive side on the Cape, and it's showing here in the 6th, 2 away.
And there for Sullivan, a nice
Now batting, the
job.
designated hitter from
Fastball
College
inside.
Charleston,
Norris
number
got his
23,
hands around it,
Cole
but
Mathis.
just out to left center field. Long run for Giuffreda.
Here's Cole Mathis in the running for MVP here on the Cape. First pitch in there for a strike on the heater. Has scored twice, reached base 3 times. 1 for 2 on his night so far. Sullivan's 0-1, this one chopped in the box. Sullivan a chance here for a 1-2-3. Zach Race was not bad out of the bullpen. Picks up a solid second outing after a rough first one against Falmouth. Allowed that home run to Keys, that made it 8-6. Mathis steps back in. The 0-2, chin music inside. Hard fastball, 89 there from Sullivan. He sets once again, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away. The offering inside and it clips Mathis right on the elbow. And he'll step down to first base. And Sullivan a pitch away from a 1-2-3. That's been the story for Bourne the last few innings.
The shortstop from Stanford
And
University,
Trevor Haskins will
20,
step in with 2
Trevor
outs. Haskins also a solid night so far. Picked up an RBI double in that first inning. Has gone down twice via the ground out, a double play in the 4th. Here's Sullivan's first pitch to the righty. Popped up high in the infield, and now flaring out towards shallow right field. Eblin at second base, he'll backpedal back and make the catch for out number 3. So 1 on and no hits here in the top of the 6th for the Kettleers. Bourne holds them to a 0 in the top half, and the Bravos looking for some numbers in the bottom half. Bottom 6 coming up here from Dorn Park. The Braves back with the backs when we return on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
Sponsor Mosquito Mary's.
The Bravos trail by 2 as we enter the bottom of the 6th here from Dorn Park. The top team in the Kettleers looking to stay in that top spot, and the Braves looking to inch towards the middle of the pack in the West. Top of the order for the Braves is Jonathan Vastine, Sam Peterson, and Caden Bodine due up. Teddy Brennan, the southpaw to George Washington, back on the bump. His first pitch to Vastine comes in, a called strike. For Brennan at George Washington this past spring, appeared in 18 games, started 10, went 3-4 overall, just above a 5 ERA. His 0-1 pitch, right down Broadway, quickly 0-2. Vastine a sac bunt in the 4th. Had a triple in the first inning and scored. 0-2 pitch, up and inside, just gonna miss. That sac bunt set up Bourne, bringing in a run. That was their 6th. Got the Cotuit lead to 1. They got 1 more back on a home run. 1-2 pitch. This one a wave and a miss. Drop third strike. Johnson picks it up. He'll fire a high throw to first. It's in time for out number 1.
Now batting, the left fielder from the University of Iowa.
Brennan a long 5th inning.
Sam Peterson.
Had second and third 2 times. Got help on a fielder's choice on a 5-2 putout. And retired the side on a strikeout. His first pitch to Sam Peterson is outside. 5th meeting between these two teams, the first time at Dorn Park since June 20th. The 1-0 pitch off speed in there. Count now 1-1. Brennan fires once again. This one fastball low, 2 balls, 1 strike. If you're just joining us, we thank you. A beautiful night here at Dorn Park alongside Matt Scalzo. I'm Cam Manna. You'll hear from Ali Navarrete once again on the field. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 away. Brennan's pitch to Peterson. Fastball is low. An RBI ground out for Peterson in the first, hit by a pitch in the fourth, has reached base once. Here's a 3-1 offering. Off speed popped up, and it flares out of play. And Brennan has done this so far tonight, has worked back in counts, has not fallen away, works at full. Here's his interesting technique. Starts with one of his foots behind the mound as the 3-2 is chopped foul third base side from Peterson. Steps off the mound. That's where he starts, and then comes with that left foot onto the mound as he sets from the windup. 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball just going to miss on the outside corner. Peterson a long AB and a walk. Second time he's on the bags tonight. Has 12 stolen bases. He can run.
Now batting,
has those bright yellow shoes for a reason. And Caden Bodine, the switch hitter, will bat right here with 1 away.
Yeah, the only concern for Peterson here is with the lefty in Brennan. He'll have his eye on him.
Tobias holding on for his pick over. And Peterson back standing, but Tobias also off the bag at first, not holding on. Looking to get that quick tag to Peterson. And just a better view for the first baseman as well. Pick over once again. This one brings Tobias off the bag and almost rolls to the fence.
And Norris, the second baseman, very close to second base.
Brennan a long look. Peterson going on the first pitch. This one a called strike. The throw from Johnson to second, not in time, and dribbles into shallow center. Nice job from Peterson. Stolen base number 13, not wasting any time. You know the saying, they never go 3 times to first base. It worked out there. Brennan not going. He comes to home plate. Puts Bodine in an 0-1 hole.
Cam, you beat me to the punch with that saying.
0-1 to Bodine, this one low. We've seen pitchers go 3 times, but we've had some our problems with announcer jinxes, so didn't want to exactly say it there. But now Peterson on second.
Yeah, it's very rare that you're going to see a pitcher go 3 times. And
Brennan's 1-1. Bodine, right center field. This one down in the alley for a base hit. Peterson going to third base. He'll get the hold. Bodine, a long turn at first. He'll stay there. And Caden Bodine, his first hit tonight. He's walked 3 times before that. 4th time he'll reach base. And the Bravos, runners at the corners
now
with 1 out.
And
here comes Bryce Eblin.
Number 9, Bryce Eblin.
Caden just happy he's able to take the bat off his shoulder. He'd walked the 3 times prior. And Sam, as he was on his way to third, he kind of buckled a little. You know, maybe got scared that Norris was going to get back in time, a rangy second baseman. Why he got the stop sign from top over at third.
RBI chance for Bryce Eblin. First pitch, it's going to miss low. 2 hits tonight for Eblin and a stolen base. Riding now a 9-game hit streak for the infielder out of Alabama. 17 RBIs as well. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Eblin, ground ball at third base, picked up from Keys. Has Peterson in a rundown. The throw to home. The tag from Johnson. It's not in time. The slithering spin from Sam Peterson. The aggression on full display once again. Slides in safely and cuts the Cotuit lead to 1. It's 8-7.
The right fielder from the University of Arkansas. Number 8.
Oh, man.
Diggs.
Off the bat, you're thinking that might be 2. Little deja vu for Eblin. And you see Scott Landers talking to Peterson over there at third. Maybe want him to be a bit more cautious on a ground ball like that. Pays off, though.
Tying run with Bodine on second. First pitch to Diggs is outside. And Eblin gets on base once again and delivers for the Bravos. But Peterson caught in hot water and gets the job done. Diggs looking to bring the Braves back. Brennan's 1-0 pitch. Off speed in there for a strike. Diggs has flashed the leather so far here tonight, making another spectacular web gem play in right center at the warning track. Now hoping for that bat to come alive. Had a 2 RBI single in the first. 1-1 pitch. This one's low. 8 RBIs now in the summer for Kendall Diggs. Bodine off second base, Eblin off first. Brennan 2 looks at second. 2-1 to Diggs. Big hack and a big miss. 2-2. Packed house here from Dorn Park. The Braves looking to take down the Kettleers for the first time this season at home. They've done the damage at their place. Looking to do it here. 2-2 pitch to Diggs. Wave and a miss. And a called strike 3. Waited on the foul tip, but Diggs just out in front and fooled. Second time he'll go down on strikes tonight. And with 2 away, now the chance for the hot swinging bat of New Contreras.
Number 3, New Contreras.
2 RBIs for Contreras. And 2 singles so far tonight. The chance is his. First pitch outside, 1-0.
And it's been the righties against Brennan that have had the success. Peterson with the walk. Bodine had the single.
Brennan 2 looks at second base, the 1-0 offering. Contreras, ground ball towards shortstop, picked up from Haskins on a hop. A long throw across the diamond, the scoop from Tobias. They got it. A beautiful 6-3 putout to end the inning. The Kettleers holding on to that lead for dear life here on the road. It's 8-7 after 6. Top 7 coming up here from Dorn Park. All hand play-by-play off to Matt Scalzo when we return on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
Back at Dorn Park here for the top of the 7th. We're into the final stretch. Matt Scalzo alongside Cam Manna. It's been a dandy under the lights of Dorn Park. 8-7. Cotuit with the lead. Jack Sullivan. First pitch. It's a strike right down the chute to the switch hitting right fielder James McCoy. The 0-1. Fouled off. And it's 0-2. Sullivan let his defense make plays behind him. He also pitched in as well on the putout of Brock Wills. A 3-1 putout. The 0-2 to McCoy. Fastball outside, 1-2. Right now for Bourne, they've been inching closer, and they've been looking for that extra punch to tie or take the lead. The 1-2 jammed inside of McCoy. He flies it out of play down the left field line, and the count stays where it is. Runs in the 4th and in the 6th. And they've left 2 runners on in the last 3 innings. 1-2. McCoy fouls it off the glove of Pinckney. The count stays where it is. 5 of the 6 runners left on in the last 3 innings have been in scoring position for the Braves. just trailing by 1. The 1-2 from Sullivan. Outside on the off speed, and it's 2-2. 2-2. Fouled off by McCoy, and he stays alive once again. Right fielder out of Kentucky's 0 for 1. Walked his first 2 times up, and then struck out swinging back in the 4th at the hands of Zach Grace. What a great outing it was for him, going 3 1/3 innings. 2-2, swing and a miss. Sullivan's got his first punch out, and McCoy down by way of the K once again. There's one away in the top of the 7th.
Great pitch there from Sullivan, and
Now batting, the center fielder from the
coming to
University
this
of
one,
Indiana,
he's struggled a little bit of late,
Carter
and looking to kind of get
Madison.
his feet under him and have some good outings here for the Braves. We saw a few early on, then struggled, but so far here, very confident and poised on the bump.
Another lefty in Carter Matheson. First pitch breaking ball sails upstairs, and it's 1-0. Matheson's 0 for 2. A pop out, walk, and then a fly out his last time up in the 5th. 1-0. Fouled off. That catches Pinckney in a tough spot there, and he'll take a moment to catch his breath. Home plate umpire James Fonseca will toss the ball to Sullivan as Pinckney takes a stroll behind home plate.
And right here for Bourne, just looking for another quick inning. It seems like every time they get that run to cut it to 1, Cotuit kind of gets one back. It's been all about momentum here tonight, and can Bourne kind of latch it on their side.
1-1 from Sullivan. Matheson, ground ball right side. Eblin fields it on the backhands. On the move, fires to first. Stretch from Contrades. They're able to get Matheson out for the second out here in the top of the 7th.
Nice job there from Eblin, ranging over, setting
Now
his
batting,
feet.
the catcher from the College of Charleston, number 11.
2 quick
Dylan
outs here for
Johnson.
Sullivan on the bump, and he's just commanding himself very well. It's pounding first pitch strikes. When that's working for you, all the other stuff follows.
I'll now face Dylan Johnson. He's 1 for 3. First pitch, popped up straight back, and it's 0-1. Hugh Pinckney looking around for where the ball was. His dugout telling him, nope, it's out of play. As I said, Johnson's 1 for 3. Flew out in the first, picked up a 2-run single in the second, and then struck out back in the 5th. Righty on righty. The 0-1 from Sullivan. Jammed inside. Did Johnson go around? He did.
Looks like clipped off the knob of the bat.
Up on the scoreboard, it says 1-1. Not sure what happened. Now it says 0-2. Pitch from Sullivan, ground ball left side. Foster fields it at third. Long throw across the diamond in time. It's a 1-2-3 top of the 7th for Jack Sullivan. A strikeout and a couple of groundouts. No runs, no hits, no runners left on base. We head to the bottom of the 7th. Cotuit holding on to an 8-7 lead over Bourne here at Dorn Park. back at Doran Park. Reminder that tonight's broadcast brought to you by Cape Cod Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, a proud sponsor of the Bourne Braves. Cape Cod Orthopedics, Sports Medicine, and Physical Therapy is the region's largest and most experienced orthopedic group, accepting new patients at our Sandwich and Hyannis clinics. Matt Scalzo alongside Cam Manna here to the bottom of the seventh we go. An 8-7 lead for Cotuit. Bourne's been knocking at the door in hopes of tying or potentially even taking the lead. And there'll be a new pitcher on the mound for the Kettleers. Brian Young out of Ryder will make his second appearance on the mound, first out of the bullpen. Another lefty replacing Teddy Brennan. First pitch fastball on the outside half, 0-1. Facing Cam Foster. A strikeout, fly out, and reached on a fielder's choice. For Foster so far tonight, the 0-1. Fastball clipped out of play down on the right field line, and it's 0-2.
It's been such a back-and-forth game so far. It's crazy to think that these meetings have just been so lopsided. And now finally seeing the clash that we've been waiting for between Cotuit and Bourne.
A 1-1? Or rather 0-2. This is outside. Now it's 1-2. For Young, he went 3 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 7 runs, 6 of them earned on 5 hits. Struck out 2 and walked 5 in his first start. 1-2 change up in the dirt, 2-2. Young, that start coming against Harwich. A 10-2 loss on the 20th for Cotuit. 2-2. Fastball just beneath the knees. Full count. Foster's battled all the way back. Hugh Pinckney and Pete Ciuffreda to follow. The payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Foster late on the fastball. Young's got his first strikeout, and there's one away in the bottom of the 7th.
Young just fooled Foster there. Foster was kind of just guessing an off-speed pitch and was just late to react to that fastball. When I talked to Ryan Enos during that 4th inning, we brought up a 2-2 count and what the approach is, and he really said you're just looking straight fastball and don't want to be late on that and try to adjust well to that off-speed.
First pitch to Hugh Pinckney. It's a fastball that paints the outside edge, and it's 0-1. Third baseman and Keys right in front of the infield grass. Middle infielders in Haskins and Norse on the edge of the outfield. 0-1 bounces in, and it's 1-1. There's a look at Mike Roberts, the manager of Cotuit. He's been with the Kettleers for a long time. And he's brought success to Lowell Park. A few championships for him. 1-1. Jammed inside on Pinckney. That catches his lead right arm. And he'll toss his stuff and head on down to first on a hit by pitch.
Now batting, the center fielder from Rutgers University, number 24, Pete Ciuffreda.
And nice for Bourne to get that base runner on here with 1 out. It just now, can Bourne start to get those hits in the gap that we saw early on from Cotuit and clash right back.
Pete Ciuffreda digs in. Takes a first pitch strike from the fastball of Young. Pinckney leads over at first. A thrower from Tobias, and a balk is called against Young. Pinckney will get a free pass down to second. And now the tying run in scoring position for Bourne. An 0-1 count to Pete Ciuffreda. Pinckney takes his lead off second. Haskins, the shortstop, pinching right behind him in case of a thrower from Young. It's about a 2-3-step lead for Pinckney. The 0-1 jammed inside on Ciuffreda. He doesn't go around on the fastball, and it's 1-1. The 1-1 from Young. Breaking ball. Drops back into the inside portion of the plate, and it's 1-2. Ciufreto's 0 for 2. A couple of strikeouts, and sandwiched in between in the fourth was a walk. He was left stranded on the bases. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes. And there's 2 away. Both strikeouts for Young. It's back to the top of the order with Jonathan Vastine.
Shortstop from Vanderbilt University, number 2, Jonathan Vastine.
And just tough now for Pete. He's just, a lot of these at-bats, he's battling, fouling off some good pitches. It's just that 2 straight count. Not being able to just put that ball in play and get himself going.
Back to the top of the order with Jonathan Vastine. First pitch swing for him. It's a high pop-up down the left field line. Moving over into foul ground is Brock Wills, the left fielder. He'll make the catch for the third out. Bourne gets one on as Pinckney was hit by a pitch. He's left stranded on the bases as we head into the 8th. Bourne still trailing by 1. It's 8-7 Cotuit as we head to another break here on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network. Back at Dorn Park, tonight's broadcast brought to you by Convention Data Services, or CDS, a technology company based in Bourne and proud supporter of Cape Cod baseball. Since 1986, CDS has been delivering customized solutions to the global trade show industry. Keep up with CDS on their website at cdsreg.com and follow them on Facebook and LinkedIn. Back at Dorn Park, top of the 8th inning, new pitcher on the mound for the Braves. And it's a new lefty. Just arrived in Bourne this past week. It's Tristan Levesque out of University of Rhode Island. This past season went 6-5, held a 4.01 ERA in 15 appearances, all of which were starts for URI. 83 innings pitched, 83 hits allowed, 51 runs, 37 of them earned. The big one, 101 strikeouts to just 19 walks. Picked up second team all Northeast region.
Now batting, the third baseman from Bucknell University, number 17, Sean Keys.
By ABCA and Rawlings. First appearance for him, the lefty, facing lefty and Sean Keys. First pitch. Off speed that misses inside, 1-0. Jacob Tobias and Brock Wills to follow here in the top of the 8th. Bourne running out of time to find that last run, and Levesque trying to keep it where it is to give his offense a chance. 1-0, just beneath the knees, 2-0. Fastball, bottom of the zone, 2-1. Levesque ramping it up there, was 78, 79 on his off speed. Fastball came in at 90. 2-1. Called strike on the changeup. Slotted in right at the knees. The Cotuit dugout did not like the call from James Fonseca. Count evened at 2s. Pitch from Levesque. Hard hit, ground ball through the 5-6 hole and into left field for a leadoff base hit for Sean Keys. He stays hot. He's 3 for 3 tonight.
Now batting, the first baseman from Arizona State University, number 18.
That's a great piece of hitting there from Keys, and staying hot tonight with his third hit has propelled this Cotuit lineup with that home run as well. It's a really hard hit ball towards that left side.
100 miles an hour off the bat of Keys. First pitch to Tobias. He shows bunt, and it's fouled off of home plate. And it's 0-1. Cotuit trying to play some small ball, add an insurance run. Foster, the third baseman, 2 steps into the infield grass. The 0-1, Tobias squares around once again. Pulls back as the changeup's low, and it's 1-1. Vastine and Eblin at double play depth. Eblin more in the 3-4 hole. Tobias shows bunt, pulls back before the pitch, and the fastball low in the dirt. Good job by Pinckney to keep it in front of him. 2-1 count. Tobias reached on a fielder's choice in the second, came in a score. Since then, a pop out and a strikeout for him on his night. Hands choked up in the lefty's batter's box. The 2-1, another bunt. Opts to pull back again. Fastball's low, and it's 3-1. A 3-1. Fastball's low. And a walk to Jacob Tobias puts runners on first and second with nobody out here in the 8th.
Now batting, the left fielder from the University
exactly.
of
Look
North
at
Carolina,
Cotuit once here, working a
number
walk,
30,
and
Brock
for
Wills.
Tobias there, you know he's trying to sack bunt, and tough for Levesque trying to just find the zone right there, just couldn't get those fastballs in, working right below the knees.
Corners will move in Contrades, and Foster is showing bunt is Wills. Levesque kicks and deals, and his first pitch changeup sails upstairs, 1-0. And movement for Bourne in their bullpen past the fence in left field. One-0. Low and away from Levesque. It's 2-0. Time is called. Hugh Pinckney will come out from behind the plate, talk with his pitcher, who has not had success finding the zone early in his first appearance on the mound here for Bourne. And it's Justin Lavelle. Great shot from Jeremy Gay down the line.
And a lot of bullpen use, Matt, for both these teams. Cotuit really going to their bullpen early, and now Bourne into their fourth pitcher. Not the starts that you wanted from both starting pitchers.
It was a great job for Jack Sullivan through the 6th and in the 7th. Just allowed one runner on. It was via hit by pitch and struck out one. Wills showing bunt. 2-0, pulls back, grounder first base side. It rolls foul. It's 2-1. For Bourne, you desperately want to keep this where it is. You've had runners on, runners in scoring position as well. They've left a runner on in all but one inning. That was the second, the only time they've gone down 1-2-3. Two-one. Wills puts down the bunt, third base side. Charging is Foster. Fires to first. It won't be in time. Eblin was trying to cover, but Wills with too much speed. Small ball pays off for Cotuit. They load the bases, and nobody out. It's back to the top of the order with Grant Norris.
Cotuit, such a well-coached baseball team from Mike Roberts and this group, and understanding the importance of small ball, and if you can do it successfully and what it does for a baseball team, and showing it right there. They get on to start this inning with a single. They followed up with a walk, and they know that they got the top of the lineup to follow, so they have Wills bunt.
Corners will pinch in, and Contrades and Foster. Double play depth for Eblin and Vastine up the middle. First pitch to Norris is a fastball, a touch inside. 1-0 to Grant Norris. Norris is 0 for 2. A walk and a hit by pitch his first two times. Up a run scored in the second. Since then, a fly out to right, which was a spectacular dive and play from Kendall Diggs. 1-0. Big swing and a miss on the off speed. It's 1-1. His last time up in the 6th, he flew out to Pete Chufreda in center. The 1-1. Changeups outside, 2-1. The 2-1. Fastball down the chute, called strike 2. Levesque, bases juiced, nobody out. The 2-2 to Norris. Swing and a miss. Got him on the off speed. Huge first strikeout for Levesque. And there's one away in the top of the 8th inning.
Great pitch there from Levesque, and battling right now. His first outing as the bases loaded in the biggest spot of this game. And brings down the one-hitter Norris with a strikeout. Now double play and have to face who other than Cole Mathis.
Cole Mathis has already delivered with the bases loaded once before. First pitch off speed. Ball off the outside part of the plate. Again, it's 1-0. Mathis has reached base every time tonight. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the first. Bases clearing triple in the second. 1-0. Fastball. Just above the knees, 1-1. Brought in 3 in the second. Then walked in the fourth and was hit by a pitch in the 6th. Contrades on the infield grass. Vastine Eblin double play depth up the middle. No shift on in the outfield. 1-1. Breaking ball low, 2-1. Mathis fouls it back. Count evened at 2-2 with one away.
And a big spot here for Levesque and trying to just bring that fastball again, but lower in the zone to force a double play. Don't want to let Mathis get something elevated.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Huge strikeout from Levesque. Pumps the high heater past Mathis. There's 2 away on back-to-back punch-outs from Tristan Levesque.
Now batting, the shortstop from Stanford University.
High
number
heater.
20,
You could also call it
Trevor
just some high
Haskins.
cheddar from Levesque. Climbing the ladder. Man, back-to-back batters down in this spot via the strikeout. One more to get.
Trevor Haskins comes up to bat here. First pitch, it's a fastball. Down the chute, 0-1. Haskins is single, an RBI, or a double and a RBI in the first. Picked up an RBI on a ground out in the second. Then grounded into a double play and popped out to Eblin his last time up. The 0-1. This one's fouled off down the right field line. Another fastball from Levesque, and it's 0-2. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 0-2 count. Levesque kicks, steals, swing and a miss! 3 straight strikeouts for Tristan Levesque with the bases loaded. And he strands them. 8-7. Bourne holds the door. In the top of the 8th, we head to the bottom half. 8-7, Cotuit with the lead. Tristan Levesque
From the University of Iowa, number
loads
23,
the bases,
Sam
nobody out to
Peterson.
begin the top of the 8th. But he puts down the top of the order, Grant Norris, Cole Mathis, and Trevor Haskins, all by way of the K. 3 straight strikeouts. And now we head to the bottom of the 8th. 2, 3, and 4 for Bourne, and they face the new pitcher. It is Cole Mathis on the mound, a two-way player out of the College of Charleston. He's made some appearances this summer for the Kets. First pitch breaking ball. It's in for strike 1 to Sam Peterson. And was a very capable pitcher at the College of Charleston this past season. 5-1 through 14 appearances, 10 starts. The 0-1. Another breaking ball. This one's low. Held a 3.45 ERA, struck out 52, walked 17, and 60 innings of work. So far this season for Cotuit, he's 1-0. 1-1. Swing and a miss on the fastball from Peterson. It's 1-2. Holds a 5.09 ERA through 7 appearances with 2 starts, 18 strikeouts to 5 walks, and 17 2/3 innings pitched. The 1-2. Fastball, a touch outside, 2-2 to Peterson. The 2-2. Peterson shoots it the other way. Long run out into right center field, and making the catch on the move is James McCoy for the first out.
And we brought up Bryce Eblin being kind of the Shohei Ohtani S-type player. We brought that comparison up, but if it's anyone really on the Cape right now, it could definitely be Cole Mathis. And his bat right now is up for the best in the MVP race, and his strong season at Charleston, his fastball almost up at 93 miles per hour.
Caden Bodine digs in. First pitch, it's a breaking ball. Drops into the heart of the zone, and it's 0-1. The 0-1. Fastball low. Bodine holds back, and it's 1-1. Mathis's last appearance on the mound came on July 19th. A 12-12 tie against Chatham. The 1-1. Breaking ball. Loops back into the outer part of the plate, 1-2. Mathis went 2/3 of an inning. Gave up 4 runs, all of them earned on 3 hits. The 1-2. Fastball. It's outside, 2-2. The 2-2. Bodine, a rocket. Right over top the Bourne dugout. It's 2-2. The 2-2. Bodine fouls it off, and it pops out of the glove of Johnson behind the plate. The 2-2 for Mathis. Swing and a miss. Blows the 95-mile-an-hour fastball past Caden Bodine, and there's 2 away in the bottom of the 8th.
Big pitch from Mathis. Rising up that fastball, 95, 96 on the gun. And this guy can do it all.
First pitch breaking ball, the strike to Eblin. The 0-1. Eblin flies it foul down the left field line. It's 0-2. Eblin, line drive. This will drop into left field. A 2-out base runner. And Bryce Eblin, who else? A single to left. That's his 3rd hit of the night.
Now batting, the right fielder from the University of Arkansas, number 8, Kendall Diggs.
First pitch to Kendall Diggs, a fastball in the outer half, 0-1.
And once again for Bryce Eblin, being able to go the other way, and Bourne has shown, especially against Harwich, they showed it twice. They've been able to score with 2 outs.
Mathis from the stretch, the 0-1, a breaking ball. hangs outside 1-1. Forgot to even mention it. That, we made the comparison to Bryce Eblin being Shohei Ohtani. The Cole Mathis might be a better comparison, but
Babe Ruth, Ohtani, maybe
Yeah.
maybe Bryce Eblin, Babe Ruth.
Yeah, minus all the home runs, but
Yeah.
the 1-1. A breaking ball comes back into the zone 1-2. Eblin,
Bryce a lot more fit,
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Bryce won the battle in that matchup against Mathis. Now Diggs has his back against the wall on a 1-2 count with 2 away. Eblin leading off first. The 1-2. Diggs a half swing, and he flies it deep down the line and foul.
Just shows right now on a half swing from Diggs, 95 from Mathis. If you get a good swing on the speed that Mathis is throwing right now, a little bit flat fastball, you can put a drive into it.
The 1-2. Down in the dirt, Diggs holds off. Good block by Johnson. Count evened at 2-2 with 2 away.
And also, you may want to watch out for Eblin here. May have the green light to steal.
2-2. Called strike 3. Diggs frozen on a high heater from Cole Mathis. 2 strikeouts for him in the bottom of the 8th. We head to the 9th, but first down to the field with Ali Navarrete.
Thanks, guys. We're obviously entering the final stretch of the regular season, and that means playoffs are coming now. The West is anybody's game. We talk about it every single day. The 1 and 2 spot separated by just 1 point now that Hyannis got a shutout win in Connecticut over YD this morning. Cotuit just 1 point above them, still holding on to first place. Now the Braves and Falmouth also separated by just 1 point. The Commodores in 3rd and Braves in 4th. Now the Commodores, last I checked, down to Orleans. So the Braves have a serious opportunity here, still within 1. Cotuit also looking to hold on to their spot, and a lot of implications. I talked to Coach Landers about what he wants seeding-wise in the playoffs, and he said it's not really about where they are, it's just about getting there and positioning yourself in the final stretch here to play your best baseball. Last year, after the All-Star break, the team only lost 1, born already with 1 loss in that doubleheader to Wareham on Monday. So this win could mean a lot for Coach Landers and his squad and get them ready to be hot going into the final stretch here. Back to you guys when we come back.
Into the 9th here from Dorn Park. The lights fully on. It's a dark sky. And Cotuit holds an 8-7 lead. Tristan Levesque back on the mound, and a first pitch strike on the fastball to James McCoy. Levesque, his first appearance with the Braves, and a couple of singles and a walk, loaded the bases in the top of the 8th. But he shut the door with Cotuit trying to stretch its lead. The 0-1. Check swing from McCoy, holds back on the breaking ball that bounces in, 1-1. 3 straight strikeouts against the top of the order, and Grant Norris, Cole Mathis, and Trevor Haskins all swinging for Cotuit to strand the bases. The 1-1. Fastball, a touch outside, 2-1.
That's just nuts to think about. He comes into his first appearance. Matt and I talked about it during the break. Maybe the 3 biggest outs of the season.
2-1. Another fastball. McCoy fouls it straight back, and it's 2-2. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 for Cotuit here. Looking forward to the bottom of the 9th. If Bourne's able to hold it where it is, it'll be New Contratis, Cam Foster, Hugh Pinckney due up. The 2-2. McCoy floats it foul down the right field line. Reaching out on the off speed. Two from Levesque. Fastball high and tight. Count runs full. The payoff pitch. Coy pops it up. This will tail out of play down the first base side.
And just such a back and forth game right now. And if Bourne can get a nice 3 outs here, keep it where it is. 1 run, very, very doable with the lineup that Bourne is coming up with Contreras to lead off.
The 3-2. And the changeup's low. Leadoff walk for James McCoy to begin the top of the ninth.
And once again here for Cotuit, you wonder in an 8-7 game with no outs now, do they fully go small ball? Foster creeping in at third base for the lefty here.
First pitch, fastball, called strike to Matheson, and it's 0-1. McCoy's reached base for the third time, all of which have been walks. Meanwhile, for Matheson, he's 0 for 3 before the 0-1. A snap throw to first. McCoy back standing. Matheson came around to score in the second after he reached on a walk. The 0-1 shows bunt, fouled off down the third base side. He'll now have to swing away with 2 strikes. That second inning, 6 runs for Cotuit. That's the difference in this game right now. And also the Sean Key solo home run, a little extra insurance in the 5th. Still showing bunt with an 0-2 count. Pulls back, and then he has to swing as the fastball is coming down the chute. And he just fights it off to stay alive.
And now a 2 straight count. And Levesque up by a lot. He can now work his pitches, but you wonder here, does McCoy get a running start at all?
Dancing around over at first. The 0-2. Low and outside. Pinckney with the stop.
Matheson still showing that fake bunt pullback. If you're Levesque, can't even worry about that bunt at all. And with him pulling back late, it's going to be tough to get a good swing. Just throw your best fastball in there.
1-2. And it's an off-speed low. Matheson didn't bother showing bunt there, and the count is evened at 2-2. McCoy over at first. He takes his small lead there. Contreras holding on to him. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Another fastball from Levesque. Gets his 4th strikeout. There's 1 gone in the 9th.
What a start for Levesque here, and he's been able to show his resilience and his poise on the mound, allowing runners on, not letting that phase him, continuing to pitch his way. Showing that overpowering fastball once again from the southpaw.
First pitch changeup. That's right at the knees for a called strike to Dylan Johnson. 0-1. Throw over to first. McCoy back, lunging in. The 0-1, McCoy going, swing and a miss. The throw from Pinckney, it's a strike, and Eblin tags him out. We've seen Cotuit go for the hit and run, and here it doesn't pay off. Johnson comes up empty on the changeup, and Hugh Pinckney with a dart to Eblin McCoy's caught stealing, 2 away in the top of the 9th. The 0-2, high fastball. Checking his swing was Johnson, appeal down to first. Marvick Gomez says he did not go around. Count moves to 1-2.
And Bourne's fighting right now, trying to keep it where it is.
Levesque will call time, steps off the rubber. He's back on a 1-2 count, kicks and deals. Fastball, shallow right field. Racing back is Eblin over the shoulder, and he makes the catch. Bryce Eblin with a great read, looking like a wide receiver going out into right center field. Bourne looking to tie as we head into the bottom of the 9th, trailing by 1. It's 8-7 Cotuit here from Dorn Park.
Now batting, the first baseman from Arizona State University, number 3, New Contradas.
Bourne have their backs against the wall, down to their last 3 outs. On the man in their way is the MVP frontrunner Cole Mathis. First pitch, ground ball up the middle. Fielding it is Norris at second, fires to first, and Contradas is down for the first out here in the bottom of the 9th.
You wanted the first guy on. Contradas saw his pitch early. Hard hit ball just right at Norris.
Now batting, the third baseman from
Now
Liberty University,
Bourne
number 21.
is going to have these ideas
Foster.
brewing here. Any pinch hitters, any pinch runners. Foster, a guy that can still run on the base paths. Does Gage Harrelson get loose as well to get his legs ready?
Cam Foster comes up, first pitch to him. Breaking ball dips low and away, 1-0. Hugh Pinckney is on deck for Bourne. 1-0. Fastball right at the top of the zone, 1-1.
And Derek Bender is standing up outside of the Bourne dugout, taking some just air practice swings. Stretching out a little bit, wonder if he comes in.
1-1. Fastball catches right on the inside corner, and it's 1-2 to Foster. Couple of strikeouts, a flyout. Reached on a fielder's choice so far tonight. Mathis set on the mound. Here's the 1-2. Foster checks his swing on the breaking ball. He did not go around, says Marvick Gomez over at first. The count evened at 2-2. Fifth meeting between these two teams. Series evened at 2 apiece. Cotuit's taken both meetings at Dorn Park. Bourne's taken both at Lowell Park. The 2-2 to Foster. Swing and a miss. Fooled on the breaking ball from Mathis. That's his third strikeout, and Bourne's down to their last out.
Now batting, the catcher from Rutgers University, number 6, Hugh Pinckney.
Hugh Pinckney, the last chance here for Bourne to keep it going. trailing by 1. First pitch for Mathis. Breaking ball, hangs low in the dirt, and it's 1-0. The 1-0. Foul tip, bat goes flying towards the Cotuit dugout. And it's 1-1. That bat slammed into one of the railings on the Cotuit side. And Pinckney goes to the dugout looking for a fresh piece of lumber.
And you wonder if he broke that bat, but man, Bourne's done that so many times this summer in a spot right now where they don't want to get Pinckney really out of his groove, but it maybe will get Mathis out of his groove right now. He's in such a rhythm on the mound, working quickly. This could help in favor of Bourne.
Pinckney's got his bat in a 1-1 count with 2 away. No shift on around the infield or the outfield here for Cotuit. Middle infield have their heels on the outfield grass, and Norris and Haskins. The 1-1. Pinckney fouls it straight back, and it's 1-2. Bourne now down to their last strike. The Bravos went ahead early with a 4-1 lead after 1, but Cotuit with 6 in the second, and they've held the lead since. And Insurance on the solo home run from Sean Keys, the difference here. The 1-2. It's a fastball outside, and Pinckney evens the count at 2-2 with 2 away. Cotuit trying to hold on to that top spot, fighting off Hyannis. Bourne looking to find momentum. The 2-2, and Hugh Pinckney fights it off once again on a foul ball. Count stays where it is.
Pinckney battling in the box right now. Mathis throwing all his pitches very close for strikes. He's loved that fastball as a put away. Make him elevated.
The 2-2, swing and a miss. He elevated the fastball like Cam said. Pinckney down on strikes, and Mathis, after his strong night in the batter's box, goes onto the mound and puts out 4 strikeouts and a 1-2-3 bottom of the ninth to shut the door and hold off Bourne. And Cotuit picks up the 8-7 win.
Thank you for your cooperation. The Braves are off tomorrow night, and we'll be back at it here at
We saw 2 meetings here at Dorn Park that Cotuit was well within control, and now here, Cam, we saw an absolute barn burner. 2 teams slugging it out, going back and forth, but Cotuit held on late to pick up the win.
Yeah, it was a back-and-forth game, and it came down to those middle innings. As we saw early on, Bourne 4 runs in the bottom of the first. Cotuit 6 runs in the top half of the second, and then it was back and forth. It was trading 1 runs back and forth in that one. But Cotuit held momentum for more innings. Bourne got back within 1. Cotuit took the 2-run lead. So that's what it's all about in this one. Bourne just did not do enough later on in this game. Both teams went to their bullpen. They went deep into it, and Bourne and Cotuit got great outings out of their arms, out of the bullpen. It was just Cotuit had that one more good inning on the offensive side than Bourne, and that was the difference here tonight.
Bourne, you saw one of those issues that we saw early in the regular season. Runners left on base, and there were a lot left in scoring position. You know, with an off day coming up tomorrow, a chance to kind of refocus your mind, re-energize once again, like Scott Landers talked about heading into the All-Star break. But after a game like today, you kind of shake your head asking, what if?
Yeah, and there's a lot of things you look at from today. First thing is Matt brought up the scoring position. Bourne did not do well with that. Cotuit did better, and it comes down to Bourne striking out with guys on. The Bravos struck out 13 times tonight on the offensive side. Cotuit put more balls in play. But here's what I'll say about the Braves in this loss today. You take a little bit of this loss with a grain of salt because of the way that this game went down for Cotuit and for Bourne. From the very beginning, both starting pitchers were not there. Bourne had to go to their bullpen. Cotuit did as well. So the positive is how Bourne was resilient out of the bullpen, and the bats came alive there, and it was a back-and-forth game against the top team in the West right now, so there is that positive. The negative for the Bravos is not being, it goes back to consistency, not winning consecutive games. They win a great game last night against Harwich, they come back with the loss, so the off day could mix some things up, but going into the final few games here and Bourne coming back at home on Friday, some very big games against some really good baseball teams, and the Braves obviously going to be in a playoff spot, but they want to start playing their best baseball entering the month of August.
It's going to be a mad dash to the end of the regular season following tomorrow's off day. Bourne takes on YD, the top team in the East on Friday, 6 p.m. first pitch here from Dorn Park. That'll do it for tonight's broadcast. However, an 8-7 win for Cotuit, here at Dorn Park. I want to say a special thanks to our camera operators and Jeremy Gay and Hazel House for all the great shots they got tonight. Mojo Hill, our beat reporter, and Allie Navarrete down on the field. Alongside Cam Manna, I'm Matt Scalzo, saying so long from Dorn Park.